Across the UK, online and on DAB.
A radio star is born.
You're going to love
Talk Radio. Talk Radio.
Choose discomfort over resentment. It's a philosophy that I try and live by, and it works every single time. This is Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio. If you want to give us a call and be the first caller of the night, now is an excellent time to do it. Here's the news.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
No, that's the wrong one. I knew that was the wrong one. Stop. No. Where have you gone? Hang on. Bear with me. How has that disappeared? Hang on a second. Let's speak to it's Tiffany. Hello, Tiffany. Rachel? What's her name? Anna.
Hello.
Yes. What was the
hip, hip, hip.
Hip, 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 Anna. Now, the Beatles song that I was going to play has disappeared. How the hell I don't even remember which one it was. It was, Got to Get You Into My Life. Where has that gone?
Oh, I love that song.
Well, I was supposed to play it and it's just disappeared. Got to Get You... I've got...
Gotta get you into my life.
Hang on, I've got this one. What? Oh, that's Taxman. Oh, flip. Hey! No. We're going all through. Lead a better in the town. We're going all... Hang on, we're going all through. Let's go! Revolver.
Your day, bro.
No. Hang on. No. Oh, well, where the hell? Hang on a minute. We're not starting the show. I've lost. I've only gone and lost. Got to Get You Into My Life. Hang on a second. Bear with me. File. Add to library. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. iTunes. Hang on, bear with me. Got to get... hang on. You're not in a rush, are you, Anna?
No. You didn't leave it on the cable car, did you?
No. Oh, God, that bloody cable car. Jeez, I thought I was going to puke up. Hang on. Revolver. Let's have a look in Revolver. Hang on. I'll talk about that a bit later on. Oh, what an awful start to the show. iTunes felt music... Oh, for crying out loud. Beatles. What is the Beatles, isn't it? It's not even in alphabetical order. Bear with me. The Beatles. Please me. What's the name of the album? Revolver. Got to Get You Into My Life. Hang on a second. Right.
I was alone, I took a ride, I didn't know what I would find there. Another road where maybe I could see another kind of mind there. Ooh, and I suddenly see you. Ooh, did I tell you I need you every single day of my life? You didn't run, you didn't lie, you knew I wanted just to hold you. Had you gone, you knew in time we'd meet again, for I had told you. Ooh, you were meant to be near me. Ooh, and I want you to hear me say we'll be together every day. Got to get you into my life. What can I do, what can I be? When I'm with you I wanna stay there. If I'm true I'll never leave, and if I do I know the way there. Ooh, and I suddenly see you. Ooh, did I tell you I need you every single day of my life? Got to get you into my life.
That was worth the wait, wasn't it?
Oh, brilliant. I love
That was
that.
worth the flipping wait. Hang on a minute, I'm flying blind here because I've just pulled my headphones out. Don't swear or say anything naughty because I can't hear what you're saying. There we go. Oh, I think my headphones may have died the death. Let's...
I've got Caddick messaging us going mad.
Caddick's hung up. Caddick was all set to be caller number 4 tonight and he's hung up. He's got upset.
He's really upset on Facebook.
He's, hang on a minute. Oh, blimey. Well, we'll work with this until the break, and then I'll see if I can fix it. Well, these things happen, don't they? These things happen.
Guess what happened to me today?
You got stuck in a car wash?
Yeah.
Did you? How did I guess that? What are the chances of me guessing that?
I tweeted it to you.
Oh, that might be it. That would be it. How did you get stuck? I love a good car wash. How did you get stuck in it?
Well, I started off, went through, got halfway through, because, it pulls you along.
No, I've never been the one that pulls you along. I've been the one where you pull up and it stops, and it says reverse a bit, and then stop, and then you stop.
Well, it pulls you along on the track, doesn't it?
No,
Yeah.
I've never been pulled along on the track one.
Oh, yeah, well, this one just pulls you through.
Oh, I've never had that, no.
Yeah.
Outrageous.
And the fluffy things that go round on the car,
Yeah.
and the track stopped,
Yes.
and the fuzzy things were going all still round, and I was the only one there, and everything went down, the lights and everything, and I didn't know what to do, so I just sounded the horn.
Oh, you coward, you should have got out. It's my
How
dream.
did I get out? The buses
It
were
is my dream to be in a petrol station and someone soaking wet, covered in bubbles, walking in going, car's got stuck in the car wash. Could someone give us a hand? I'd love to see that happening.
Oh, God, it was a nightmare. But someone did come in the end and pushed me along.
Oh, flipping heck. Did you have a clean car, though?
Very clean car.
Yeah, you see, exactly. Just for everyone who's wondering why we're not on Periscope, I can't get it to work on my phone for some reason. I don't know why. It won't connect. The Periscope won't connect. I'm one-legged with my headphones and I'm having to push my thumb hard. I'm pushing my thumb hard against the cable to even get one ear to work, Anna. And I've dropped the H off of your name. It really is turning into an absolute arse of a show.
Oh, dear.
They're the best ones, though, I find. Hey, we've got Will Storr coming on later on. It's a pre-recorded interview. Will Storr wrote that brilliant book. Can you bring it in for me, Kath, at some point? Sorry, that I was reading from the other day that says there is no such thing as colour.
No such thing as colour?
Oh, yeah! Colour doesn't exist.
Well, of course it does.
No, it doesn't.
Well, what, for those people who are colourblind
No,
or something?
for everybody. Colour does... There's no such thing as colour. Your brain makes it up.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you see. Do you see now?
Oh, right.
There, you see.
Ooh.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, then, tutty bye. Let's go to Joseph. Hello, Joseph.
Hello, how are you, Ian?
I'm fine, Joseph. I'll just stay there. I'm going to switch headphones for the moment because those ones are kaputted. There we go. I don't like... Oh, no, hang on. Now, these ones are only working in one ear. There we go. Right, good. Right, okay. We got it, Joseph. Hip, 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 Joseph! It's the whole show. Talk Radio, what is it now? 3-4 weeks old. The whole thing is falling apart, as I predicted it would. It's happening now.
Dude, I've had a bit of a bad day too.
What happened, man?
I had a really shitty job interview.
Okay.
Didn't go very well.
All right, just watch your language, but go on, yes.
Oh, sorry.
That's
sorry,
all right, don't worry. We can let that one pass. Apologies to anyone who offended you, but go on.
That's cool. My car didn't pass its MOT.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to have to get rid of that because it's like £300. It's not bothered at that point. And one of my bikes was stolen today.
One of your bikes was stolen?
Yes.
What is this, the 1900s? Who's going around stealing bikes?
Well, it's Grantham in Lincolnshire. It happens. Oh, it's the worst.
Man, that's a bad... Well, you think your day's bad? I went on a cable car across London and it scared the bejesus out of me. So I would suggest that mine was much, much worse than yours. What happened? You had a bad job interview, car failed its MOT and you got bike stolen. I went in a cable car. I still feel motion sick.
It's not too bad, though, to be fair. You'll get over that one.
You'll get over your bike being stolen, Joseph!
Well, I will do. To be fair, I only bought it a few weeks ago, and it was only £50. But still,
it's annoying. Where was it nicked from? I'm not saying this in an attempt to help you. I'm just trying to build an image of your day.
Well, I had the day off, and so I had a bit of a lie in, and it's actually outside in my back garden. But the thing is, I've been putting off bringing it back in again recently. So it's my fault really. But what can you do?
No, it's not your fault to if something gets nicked from your back garden. You know.
I see what you're saying. I've just been putting it off. Been putting it off for like a week, and then it's just gone.
It's for the best.
I guess.
It's for the best. Bikes are horrible. Horrible inventions. They don't really serve any purpose whatsoever, apart from.
I'm not sure about that.
They don't serve any purpose apart from, you just you're driving down the road and you get a face full of someone's backside, and it confuses me because sometimes I think they're beautiful female backsides, and and then it turns out it's actually a beautiful man's backside. Where does that leave me?
I don't like to think I'm a beautiful man, but, each to their own.
Well, listen, we were born to love one another, man. But I just think if they should have a sign saying man or woman on their back.
Or pink or blue.
Pink or blue, yeah. I'd go along with that, actually, yeah. I'd go along with that. I think that makes kind of sense. Well, I'm sorry you've had a rubbish day. I don't think the show tonight is going to make you feel any better. If I'm completely honest, it's a terrible start. Car crash of a start. Shouldn't mention cars, sorry. It's a bad start to a show, and I can't get the bloody my phone to work, my headphones to work. Nothing works!
I think what I'm going to do now is order pizza and shook my face.
Oh, don't, because I'm this diet I keep flirting with. I'm kind of back on the diet today.
Ooh.
And by that it means I've not really eaten very much, and I'm hungry, and I'm walking upstairs instead of getting lifts.
Is it low carb or?
Why not?
Okay.
I don't know what that means. It's basically low food.
Low food. Okay, that makes sense.
Low food. A low food diet is kind of what I'm on.
Well, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to shove my face anyway.
Well, you go and enjoy shoving your face.
I will.
And, thanks very much indeed for that. 0844 499 1000. Triss, Jonathan, stay there. Yes, Triss.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, 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 Triss, hip, hip, hip.
How are you? You alright?
I'm still deaf in one ear. I've managed my headphones that I prefer, my preferred headphones, which I nicked from the BBC.
BBC headphones.
You paid for them. Thanks, guys.
That's right, no worries.
They've been held together for a long time with sellotape, and the sellotape has come loose. And now it's affected both, but I've managed to fix it, but I can only hear in one ear. So we'll that's a start. That's a start. I can't get
a little Saturday job up the BBC, get some more headphones.
BBC won't let me anywhere near that building, not until I denounce all homosexuals and say that Jesus Christ is my saviour. So no, I can't get the bloody Periscope to work. So all in all, tonight's show, little bit of a write-off.
So it's going to be a radio show tonight.
It's going to be an actual, proper radio show this evening. Who'd have thunk it?
Not you, clearly.
No, not me. No, not at all.
I saw you on that cable car today.
Flipping it.
Mate, I've been on that. It's horrible, isn't it?
So basically, I was given a talk. No, I wasn't. A college by the O2 Arena. I was told I was given. I was told I was given a talk, and I turned up and I wasn't giving a talk. Okay, so I felt a little bit shafted, if I'm completely honest, Triss.
Okay.
I don't want to go into too much, because there'll be some people listening who were at the event today, and while I thoroughly enjoyed the role I played in the event, it certainly wasn't what was discussed between me and the organiser by a country mile.
What was the role you played?
All right, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, right? And I did the people that I met, I loved, and they were fantastic and charming and wonderful, and I enjoyed it, right? But I have been offering my services to schools and colleges across the country to go and give a talk about working in radio, about why I love working in radio, how I put the show together, why I think my style of radio is perhaps better than some others. And I've gone to primary schools, and I've gone to colleges, and I've gone to universities, and I've got my little talk. I do a little 40-minute talk with clips, and then I do a Q&A. So it lasts about an hour, right?
Yeah.
And I put it out on Twitter and Facebook a few months ago. If anyone wants me to come and do these talks, get in touch. Well, this college today got in touch a while ago and said, we'd love you to come and do a talk. And I said, okay, right, well, when we finally agreed that we do it at 3:00 today, and it'll be a 40-minute talk with a Q&A. And then I got an email at midnight this morning saying, can we make it 12? And I said, no, we can't make it 12. We'll make it 3, as we agreed. And so I turned up all prepared to do the talk. And while I was there, it soon became apparent that I was not there to do what I thought I was there to do. And I was meeting all these people who were going to interview me and do all this. And I said, right, sorry, can I just ask, why am I here? Why do you think I'm here? And they said, oh, we're going to interview you on this show. There was like streaming a live show. And I was like cool with that. But it dawned on me that, that I wasn't there to do what I'd offered to do, right? And it was a 2-hour drive to get from my house to there. So it was a big old drive. And we had to sort out childcare and stuff like that for basically what was a 15-minute interview. Now, had I known it was going to be a 15-minute interview, I wouldn't have done it because, you know, I wasn't getting paid. I had to pay my own travel and my own parking and stuff, which is fine. But to drive all that way for a 15-minute interview, and then I got to work 4 hours early because it was no point in me going back home. I kind of felt, well, that's not what we agreed. Now, had I driven 2 hours for an hour-long presentation and a Q&A, then I would have been happy with that. But I just felt a little bit. I felt I'd been taken for a ride. Now, is that me being miserable? Do you think, Triss?
No, I don't think. I mean, you could have done that over Skype or something, couldn't you? This little.
Yeah. Yeah, and then someone tweeted, I just interviewed, did an impromptu interview with Iain Lee. Impromptu? Hang on. That means you didn't know I was going to be there for an interview. What the hell is going on, guys? And I don't want to sound miserable, because the people that I met, right, were all lovely, and they're all really talented young people, and I wish them the best of luck. But I felt like it was a bit of a waste of my time, and I felt like I was being given the runaround ever so slightly. And it's just made me, I'm going to be a little bit more reluctant. Gosh, this has gone off on a negative tone. I'm just going to be a little bit more reluctant or hesitant to offer my services to any more schools or colleges.
Is that the spirit, though? Because, I mean, does one bad experience mean that you shouldn't share it with others?
No. Yeah, that's a good point, and I will rethink it. But I mean, I've got 15 in the diary, right? I'm halfway through it, so I've done about 8. I've got about another 7 or so to go, right?
Yeah.
I just felt they were taking the pee, and I don't like having the pee taken out of me, particularly when I'm offering something for free.
Yeah, sure. What's your motivation behind doing these talks?
Giving something back.
Yeah.
That's it, giving something back. Really?
Yeah, cool.
And you know, it was cool, and the interview was fun, and the people that did it were brilliant. I'm not in any way knocking them, but it was 2 hours. It's a 2-hour drive for a 15-minute interview, and I got to work 4 hours early. Maybe I am being miserable. Maybe I'm just being grumpy. I don't know, but I just felt it wasn't worth it.
No, I see your point now. I see your point, but I don't think you should let that ruin the whole shebang, because, you know, it's been mainly good experience, isn't it?
My sister's just tweeted me, are you sure you went to the right place? She has a good point. Maybe I just rocked up and said, hey, I'm here to give a talk, and they saw me and went, gosh, we weren't expecting this guy, but we'll have him. We recognise him from something.
Sorry for you, mate.
Yeah, maybe they saw this fat old man with a beard shuffling in. They thought, oh, let's give him a break. Let's give him a break.
Yeah, it wasn't broadcast anywhere. They just went along
exactly.
with it. Anyway,
yes.
I'm just sharing my condolences for that cable car. I got dragged on there with the family once last year, I think it was. Kids loved it. The wife found my reaction hilarious.
Oh,
my mum, who she's in a wheelchair, so it got us to the front of the queue. So
beautiful.
It's fantastic having someone in a wheelchair.
Oh, it's great.
Anywhere you want to get to the front to, brilliant.
Yeah, it's great. If the best place, if you go to New York, right, if you ever fly to New York, you've got the biggest, longest wait in immigration. It can take you like 3 or 4 hours to get through. Wheelchair, straight to the front. Empire State Building. My mum wanted to go and see the Empire State Building, right? So we went, massive queue, and I said, Mum, I'm really sorry, this queue is going to be for hours. And we were leaving, and this guy went, hey, do you want, you come here to go up to the top of the tower? I said, yeah, but the queue. He said, hey, don't worry about that. You guys get to jump the queue. In a lift, special lift, boom, straight up.
Oh, look at that, yeah.
They still call them the handicapped. They know how to look after the handicapped in New York. Which I found it odd they kept using the word handicap. But yeah, no, you're right. I'm tempted to say, if ever you go abroad or you go to the theatre, hire a wheelchair and put one of your mates in it.
Yeah. I'll wheel my mum up to Legoland with the kids, because I get in free as a carer, and we haven't got to queue up for anything.
Oh, baby. Hang on a minute. Because I've been to Legoland with my mum. You get to jump the queue at Legoland with a wheelchair.
Yeah, you got to go. If you go when you pick up your tickets, you have to get like a pass.
Oh,
and they scan it through, and you can jump right to the front.
Oh, baby. No one mentioned that to me. Right, we're taking Mum next. She ain't going on any of the rides. We'll just wheel her up to the front, jump on the ride, then go and get her afterwards. That's all we'll do.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, just leave her there. Well, she's got a ride all the way round, hasn't she?
Exactly. She's got a ride all the way round. Tris, thank you for that, mate.
Thank you, mate.
Cheers, with this. Yeah, I went on the cable car. It's called the Emirates thing. And I did it's a very sweary, I thought I'd periscope it, but it was actually, it was horrible. It was horrific. It was one of the most unpleasant experiences of my life. I think I can safely say. So, I won't be doing that again. Katia's on the line. Good evening, Katia.
Good evening, Iain.
Good evening, Katia. It's so nice to have you on the radio show.
I wasn't intending on calling.
But you did.
Today, yes, indeed, because
Pourquoi?
Joseph, he is from Grantham, and I'll be in Morrison's tomorrow.
Sorry.
Joseph, the other previous caller.
Periscope's working, by the way, guys. If you want to get on there, yes, go on.
Yes,
you're going to be in Morrison's, did you say?
I'll be in Morrison's tomorrow in Grantham. So if he wants, probably next to the new customer service desk.
Yes.
1 o'clock.
What? What? I don't understand what you're saying. You're going to what?
I'm going to be in Grantham, Morrison's at 1 o'clock, and I can meet up with...
Why do you want to meet up with him?
Because he's in Grantham.
You don't want to meet that. He could be a murderer or a sexual... Could be a sexual deviant.
So? No,
all the better,
no, not
eh?
good. No, not good. But, yes, let's meet. What?
Well, I mean... has Joseph been on already? I'm not really keeping track of this show.
He was the second caller.
Can we get Joseph back on, please, guys?
Yeah.
We'll get him back on. Let's see if he wants any part of these sexual shenanigans. So you're offering to have sex with anyone that meets you at the car park of Asda? Morrison. Sorry, you're right. It's if anyone meets you in the car park of Morrison's tomorrow, you'll see them right.
Yeah, Asda is a bit too far away.
No, you wouldn't go to Asda for sexual favours.
This
is a weird show, guys.
Yeah, you started it.
No, I literally started the show. That's one of my requirements is I have to do that. But I didn't in any way. I'm all okay. Well, yes, you can meet Joseph, although he's not answering his telephone. That tells you something.
Yeah, well,
maybe he's choosing his pants for tomorrow.
Maybe he prefers Asda.
But if anything does go wrong, and I mean this seriously, right? Yeah. If you do find yourself, attacked,
cornered,
yes, you can't in any way blame me.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Is someone after me?
Yeah. Hi. Are you Joseph?
Hi. Yes.
Yes. Are you in Grantham?
Yeah, I live in Grantham.
Oh, God, I live in Grantham too.
Hey, small world.
Oh, that's amazing. Who would have thought it?
No.
Well, you don't seem impressed by Grantham. I'm not either, so...
It's not the worst place to live, but it's certainly not the greatest, to be fair.
It's a bit disappointing, because I heard it kind of won an award for most boring town back in 2005, I think.
Really? Well, it might as well win an award for most bikes stolen today, I suppose, but, what can you do?
Yeah, nothing.
So here we go. Are you going to meet Katia tomorrow? What time are you going to be in Morrison's open?
Yeah, 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. I was going to say legs open. I thought that was inappropriate. So
this is interesting because I live literally 2 seconds away from Morrison, so it wouldn't be any hassle. But I don't know. I might because it does sound kind of creepy.
It is weird, isn't it?
But some weird stuff's happened to me in the past, so I might. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see.
Oh, this is exciting. Can you, Katia?
Yes.
Can you? I won't be watching. Can you periscope it?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
No. I'll record it for my own
Can you? But here we go. We like that film Time Code, right? Where it's like this really pretentious film in the 90s, where it's 4 different cameras at the same time, and all the stories cross over and stuff, right? You'll be like Time Code. Katia, if you periscope it, Joseph, if you periscope it, whether you go or not, right? And then we'll have a good old laugh at both of your expense. How does that sound?
Oh, good, thanks. Okay, yeah, no problem, Ian.
Katia, does that sound okay, my love?
Well, I'd love to, but I just think I can't because of the internet. I'm not wired.
You're not wired to the internet.
Yeah, well, in Morrison's, that's the problem. So, but I'll ask if I can take Roger's phone. Maybe.
Okay, you take your Roger, the fictional boyfriend. All right, Katia, of course. 0844 499 1000. 0844 499 1000. Okay, my headphone. You don't need to know this. I used to get told off at another place I worked at for banging on about my headphones all the time. They're the tools of my trade. My headphones are literally there are 2 wires that are loose. Now, if I had some soldering equipment, I could fix it in a jiffy. I don't. So what I normally do is I sellotape the wires to the bit, but I can't quite work out where the wires need to go. So I've just rested the wires, and they're connecting, and I can hear. So no one make any sudden movements, please. I'm nervous about this call, but we'll go with it and see where we go. Yes, Jonathan.
Hello.
Hello, Jonathan.
Hi. Have you ever thought of using the theme music from Nightmare for your show?
I like Nightmare. I enjoyed the programme. Where am I now? You're in a room, and there's a table with a piece of cheese on it, and there's a man dressed as a jester. We take 2 small steps forward, one step. Oh, he's fallen into the vortex. No, I've never considered using the theme tune.
I'm trying to find the full theme music for that, but it doesn't seem to be any. The best I can find is a 50-second clip of music. Well, pity that. It was a good theme tune.
Maybe. You know that there wasn't there about a year ago. Didn't a company announce that they were going to take Nightmare on tour, and people, if they wanted to, could play the game, and it was like a thing, and you could actually go and play the game.
I never heard of that, but it sounds fun.
I think that was gonna. I think that was actually gonna happen. Hang on. Is this what you're talking about?
Yeah.
There we go. It's only 36 seconds long.
Oh dear.
Well, that maybe that's all there is. Oh, okay. Maybe that's all there is. Oh, no, thank you. No, thank you.
Someone should make a longer one.
Can someone remix this, please? And then shut up from the Okay. We stopped. Okay, that's good. Yes, I'm sure there was going to be a tour of that. And what was the name of the guy that presented it? Was Treguard? Was that his name?
Oh, it's been years since I've seen it.
All right, mate.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it. I didn't appreciate it as much at the time as I probably would now, because I wasn't old enough to know better back then.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. But be careful, Jonathan. We are in great danger of treading down the kids' TV shows from the 70s, 80s, and 90s route, which is not a route. I am not Ian Collins.
No, very perilous. Very
perilous and treacherous grounds, if ever there were.
Like a typical Nightmare quest.
Exactly. Do you ever watch Quantum Leap?
Yeah, I did.
Did you see that Stephen Colbert did a spoof of Quantum Leap with Scott Bakula?
No.
Okay, well, that's that conversation done. Well, I mean,
Quantum Leap was a weird show. It was like it was a weird show because it felt like it was something made in the 80s, but the last episode was made in the early 90s, whereas the Next Generation, which began in the late 80s, felt like a show of the 1990s.
I never liked Star Trek.
The 1990s.
I never liked Star Trek: The Next Generation because I tell you why. Because I watched the first episode, right, and I think they had like people from Shakespearean days come on board the spaceship, and I thought, nah, I'm not doing this. This looks pony. So I never watched another episode.
Oh dear, there were some good ones.
Well, I'm trying to think. I just bought because I was bored and slightly annoyed at this do today when I sat in the green room. I bought a load of time travel films on DVD, including one directed by Oh, who's the man that took a load of LSD? Not Dennis Hopper, Peter Fonda.
Oh.
So, struggling to get this conversation going, Jonathan. I don't know what is it. I don't know if it's me or if it's you.
Well, I just thought we'd shoot the breeze for a little bit, but I've got a topic we can talk about.
Here we go.
Brave enough.
Yeah. Well, now, you say brave enough. Is it going to be related to your Twitter ramblings from the last couple of days?
No.
Okay, because some of the stuff, all right, you didn't say it on the show, right? So it's kind of almost, what I have to say. Hang on, let me think. Let me think for a second, because I need to think. Right, if someone phones this show and then they post obnoxious poison on Twitter, does it have a bearing on this show? No, I don't think it does. Because if you're not mentioning it, then no, it doesn't. So,
no, I don't intend to mention it.
All right, fair enough.
I was going to talk about something loosely connected with Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Well, it concerns Joffrey. You'll see where
I've never seen Game of Thrones. I can't think of anything more boring apart from the episodes with boobs in. The other ones, nah. The dragon ones, nah.
It's okay, but it's a bit overrated, and they keep killing all the good characters.
Well, yep.
Yeah, but I'd like to talk about democracy.
Okay, yeah, go on. I can do that.
Okay. I actually think democracy is a very bad idea.
Continue,
and the reason why I think it's a bad idea is that it's not meant for human beings.
Okay.
Democracy only works in a utopian environment where everyone is equally intelligent, equally moral, equally considerate, has an equal stake in the running of things.
Let me guess. After your phone call of 2 days ago, you don't think black people or Muslims should have the right to vote?
No, it's not that at all.
Oh, okay.
I actually don't think anyone should have the right to vote because most of the human population is completely stupid. In fact, I'm stupid, and that's probably the only thing that me and the cultural Marxists agree on.
Just say that. Hang on a minute. Just say that again.
I don't think even I should have the vote.
And why is that?
Because I'm as equally as stupid as the rest of the population.
Okay.
Yeah, what I would like to see is a return to what we saw in Bohemia during the 16th and 17th century.
Oh, gosh. Yes.
Where you had a king, but he was elected to serve for life by the aristocrats who had a stake in the country because they were landowners. Land was the basis of wealth and power. Right. But with that wealth and power came responsibility.
Like Spider-Man.
And their job was to keep the king in check. But having a king is better than what we've got now because a king could afford to take a long-term view of how the country would develop.
That's a dictatorship.
Rather than now.
That's a dictatorship.
Well, it depends on who the dictator is.
What? So if he's benevolent, then it's all right, and if he's not benevolent, if he's nasty, then that's bad.
Well, that's why you need the aristocracy to keep him in check and say, you're going too far. Stop it or we'll replace you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would, this is why, now I bring in Joffrey.
Yes.
Joffrey was a terrible king. But even it would be better to live under Joffrey than it would be in the real world today because people had more freedom and liberty than under Joffrey than we do now. Joffrey would not tell people how to live their lives. All he'd be care about is pay me tribute, don't overthrow me, don't step out of line, and I'll leave you alone. But
I don't know who Joffrey is. And I don't like the name Joffrey. It should be Jeffrey, shouldn't it?
Doesn't matter. Oh. But the thing is, our lives are completely micromanaged. We are constantly told what we can and can't do.
No, we're not.
In the privacy of our own home.
No, we're not.
We're constantly told
no, we're not.
that that we can't put whatever substances we like in our own body. We're constantly told...
So a king would let you smoke dope, is that what you're saying? I like the Pope,
Yeah.
the Pope smokes dope.
Yeah, we would have more freedom under a tyrant like Joffrey than we do under Barack Obama or David Cameron. And that's why I would like to see some sort of elected monarchy or benevolent dictator or some kind of judge system like we have in Judge Dredd, where you have someone, a superior human being, like an Alex Ferguson or a Donald Trump, benevolently ruling over the masses, and they're kept in line by the natural aristocracy, which is what Starfleet is in the Star Trek universe.
Okay.
The natural aristocracy.
And I'm going to say something, Jonathan. You've just suggested that we're ruled in the same way that the people in Star Trek are ruled, that you'd like Alex Ferguson to be doing it, or a bloke called Joffrey. Has anyone ever suggested that you might be completely nuts?
I've got 2 words for you. Red pill.
Thank you very much indeed. Let's go to, I think the 6th caller of the night. Good evening, Alan.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hey, every day you get a little bit more deflated as you sink further down the list. Do you remember, Alan? Do you remember when you used to be the first caller of the night?
Well, I've got something to tell you.
Yeah, go on.
Tonight will be my last ever call to this show.
Yeah!
Could I formally announce my retirement from the Iain Lee show?
What the heck? It sounds like sour grapes.
No, I've been thinking about it long and hard. There's a time will come, and there's a time when the fun has to stop. For me, it's tonight.
The fun is stopping tonight, Alan. Why have you reached this monumentous decision?
Because I've been beaten by girls.
Well, in that case, Alan, it's nothing more than sour grapes, is it?
No, but for me, it's been bubbling for some time.
Has it been bubbling for some time? But it's still, it's, where are you?
I'm at the pub, finding me sorrows.
Yeah. All right, listen, this is crazy, guys. 0844 499 1000, guys. I need you to come on and explain to Alan Caddick why he shouldn't give up phoning the show. 0844 499 1000. Phone up. You can hear Caddick. He's a broken man child. We need you, dear listener, because I'm not really that bothered, but we need you, dear listener, to convince this husk of a human being that his input is worthwhile and you want him to stick around. So let's just wait, Alan. I bet the phones are going to go mental. Let's just wait and wait for people to phone in and tell you why you should stay. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Let's just wait. Just waiting, and there's a bit of a delay from when I speak to when it goes out on the radio, so it might be a little bit wild. What booze are you in, Alan?
The Old Crown.
The Arm Farm?
No, the Old Crown.
Oh, the Old Crown, okay. 084. Maybe I didn't give the number out. 0844 499 1000. Why do you think, dear listener, that Alan Caddick should stay as a regular contributor to this show? Let me just take this call straight to air. Line 2, you're straight through to Alan Caddick. Tell him why you want him to stay.
I mean, I definitely want him to stay, because he's such a, awesome part. Awesome part of the show,
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go, Alan. Let's try another one. Line 2, you're through to Alan Caddick. Why do you think Alan should stay?
I don't know, but I've got a funny song for you.
Oh, yeah, beautiful. We like a funny song, wouldn't we, Al?
Right.
Go on.
Well, if you go into the internet and type in Donkey Sex by Donkey Man.
Donkey Sex by Monkey Man.
By Donkey Man.
Donkey Sex by Donkey Man.
By Donkey Man.
Donkey Man performing a song called Donkey Sex. You want me to actually type that into my computer?
Yeah.
Right, that's never going to happen. Why don't you sing Donkey Sex by Donkey Man to me?
Do you want me to sing it?
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, we'd like to hear Donkey Sex by Donkey Man, wouldn't we, Alan?
No.
Oh, well, I would. Go on.
Right. Well, before I start singing...
Oh, I accidentally cut you off. Sorry, man. Line 1, you're through to Alan Caddick. Why do we need Caddick?
Caddick is part of the furniture. He's been, part of your show for so long.
Yeah, Alan, this caller's saying you're a big old comfy puff.
Hey.
Is that making you feel any better, Alan?
No.
Let's try this one. Line 2, you're straight through to Alan Caddick. Tell him why we need him.
Because his voice is like a warm cup of tea. It's comforting. It's something. There's something homely about it. It's just enjoyable. He's a lovely man.
Alan, let's have another one. Line 1, you're straight through to Alan Caddick. Why do we need Caddick in our lives?
We all need Alan Caddick in our lives. Alan, it's yourself from next week. Don't do it, buddy.
Too late. What has been announced is out there.
Don't do it. I'm you from next week, and I'm telling you now. Good things are coming, Alan.
No, I don't think so. My first caller has been relinquished. I'm just a commoner.
All right then, Alan. Well, thanks for calling. Bye. It's sad, but these things happen. Kath thinks I'm being a bit harsh. These things happen, guys. It's sad, but people move on. Maybe that was a little bit. Deary me. Let's go to. You can take that one. I'll take this one. Let's go to Keith. Hi, Keith.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, 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 Keith.
I'm rubbing my ribs.
Rubbing my ribs. Rubbing my ribs.
Where am I?
Sorry?
Where am I?
I don't know. Where are you?
This nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Where am I now? It's where am I now?
Is it?
Where am I now?
Oh, well, I think a lot of them said, where am I? Anyway, I wanted to talk about the old cable car today.
Oh, it was horrible!
Blimey.
It was horrible. Why did I think that would be a good idea?
Well, you caused a bit of a ruckus on Facebook. I was flicking through Facebook and I saw someone sort of petitioning people who like you to go and give you some support because he thought you were in a bit of a bad place. So I flicked over to Periscope and rewatched the second video first.
Oh yeah.
As you were eventually coming off, and I was like, "Oh God, what's wrong? What's up with him?" And then I watched the first one and realised your ruse. And
well, the thing is, I had my friend Scott phone me up because someone had told him that I'd had a breakdown, and he was so worried that he phoned up to see what was wrong. Well, what was wrong was I was doing a little bit of a. But I tell you what, that cable car, it was horrible.
Have you ever been skiing?
No, mate.
Never go.
I'm not going to. I'd snap. By the way, everyone on Periscope, I know you can't hear the callers. I don't know if you've noticed, I'm a little bit busy doing a show and loads of things aren't working. So, kiss it. I'll sort it out when I'm not quite so busy. Is that all right? Thanks. Yes. No, I'm not going to go skiing. Why would I go skiing?
Well, it is fantastic. It's one of the best holidays you can ever do. But after seeing you on that cable car, which isn't particularly high, really.
Oh no, it goes higher than it. I was going to say something that makes no sense. It goes higher than it looks, and by that I mean it goes really bloody high.
No, I've been on it. It's not that high.
Shut up! Shut up, man! Put your willy away. This is not one of those waving competitions. It was horrible, and genuinely I got motion sick. I don't like motion. And I went all the way round and came back, and it was absolutely hideous.
It didn't look like you were enjoying it, but it was extremely funny.
It's very sweary. I warn you now, dear listener. It's very, very sweary.
But you've reminded me of something. Talking about my willy, I was thinking tomorrow I'm going to be on Hampstead Heath, probably about 11 o'clock. So if any of the callers wanted to sort of hook up, and go for like a roll in the bushes, then I'll
will you be rubbing your ribs?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, rubbing ribs, rubbing everything.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. I don't like this callers meeting up nonsense because it's just supposing something goes wrong. I'd be in court. I mean, great publicity for the show. Let's be honest. Yes, John.
Lindsay Lohan, you all right? How's it going?
It's all right, thank you very much indeed. I'm peckish, actually. I'm very peckish.
Oh, yeah, have a penguin.
No, I'm off. I'm on a diet again, and by that I mean I'm not eating a lot and I'm walking more.
You're walking more to the shops
to
get some food?
I'm walking up and down the stairs instead of getting the lift. That's what I'm doing.
You've got a lift that goes up the stairs in your house?
No, at work. At work.
At work. Oh, well done.
Yes,
well done.
Thank you.
So, yeah, you know The Littlest Hobo?
Yes.
Well, that's reminded me of an old song. Have you ever heard of it? It's called Love Me, Love My Dog. Have you ever heard of that?
I don't know that one, no.
There's a song called Love Me, Love My Dog. It was a hit in 1975, and it came to my mind. And then it's on YouTube, old song.
I'm typing it now. The internet's been a little bit hit and miss. Oh, Pete Shelley.
That's it. Not the Buzzcocks.
Yeah, not Pete Shelley from the Buzzcocks. Here we go. Hang on a second. Here we go.
But it's such an odd song.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, was it a theme to something back then? Because it just, in the 70s you had Benji, you had Lassie, you had,
Benji, yes.
Rin Tin Tin or whatever.
Here we go.
It just seems such an odd concept for a song. I was thinking, was it a theme?
Hang on.
Freedom is a dusty road heading to a highway.
That's unlistenable. We can compile, of course, the top 10 of dog songs, because there are quite a few.
Are there?
Okay, so we've got Love Me, Love My Dog. I'm getting out some papers. I'm going to write this down. Old Shep by Elvis, of course.
Is that good, that song?
No, it's not. I'll tell you what is a good song. Oh! This is a great dog song, right? I'm going to say this is the best dog song, right? Ladies and gentlemen, it's sung by Cat Stevens. Listen to this, here we go. It's called I Love My Dog, right?
Oh.
Listen to this, Cat Stevens.
I love my dog as much as I love you. For you may think my dog will always come through. All he asks from me is the food to give him strength. All he ever needs is love, and that he knows he'll get. So I love my dog as much as I love you. But you make the fade, my dog will always come through. All the pay I need comes shining through his eyes. I don't need no cold water to make me realize that I love my dog as much as.
Then let's skip to the end, because the end is brilliant. Here we go. Skip to the end. Here we go. Listen to the end. He goes nuts.
Baby, I love my dog. Na 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 na. Baby, I love my dog.
There we go.
That is an unusual topic for a song, isn't it, really?
Well, is it, though? Is it? Let's find. There'll be more dog songs.
More from your 100 favourite dog songs tonight.
Yes, there will be. You've given us a topic. Thank you very much indeed. I haven't got an out time, guys. Let's go to Craig. Yes, Craig.
Hello, Ian.
Hello, Craig.
As a Welshman, I'd just like to say that Nigel doesn't represent my ethnic group.
Okay, the Welsh homosexual community.
No, just the ethnic group of Welsh.
Okay, sorry, I apologise for that.
He's a loony. He sounds like a loony.
Well, what you say he's a loony, and if we put his Twitter feed to one side, which is filled with bile, you're saying that wanting to be ruled by, in the same way that 2000 AD is ruled, and the Star Trek Federation is lunacy? Really?
Yeah, Judge Dredd killed the democracy leader for the greater good of the people.
There you go.
That's outrageous.
Thank you. Craig, can I come back to you after the break? Is that all right? Yeah. I've realised that the time's all over the place. So, ramshackle first hour. My apologies. Partly technical, but I should never let these if I were a professional, you see, I wouldn't let these things bother me. But I find myself getting all caught up with them. And I think we've certainly got the internet sorted. And when we're playing out the interview with Will Storr, I shall do my best to get the headphones sorted. I've got sellotape. That's all I need. That's all I need. Craig, stay there. This is Talk Radio. These are the adverts.
Talk Radio.
This is Iain, this is Talk Radio. Craig, we will come to you next. Then after that, we're going to play the interview I recorded earlier on today with Will Storr, he's written at least 2 brilliant books, 2 I've read. Will Storr versus the Supernatural and Heretics. Although I struggle to say the word heretics in the interview. You'll hear more after this. This is the news.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me. Down the road, it's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. Down this road that never seems to end. When new adventure lies just around the bend. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's old style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, the whole world is my home. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's old style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. There's a world that's waiting to unfold, a brand new tale no one has ever told. We've journeyed far, but you know it won't be long. We're almost there and we paid our fare with a hobo song. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's hobo style. Maybe tomorrow I'll find what I call home. Until tomorrow, you know I'm free to roam.
Yes, Craig.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Aloha. Aloha from Hawaii.
Now you've fixed the Periscope headphones, so when you got a couple of bits to say about topics so far.
Yes.
With regards to the handicapped in America,
yes,
there was a controversy about a year ago where Disney, there were handicapped guides that you could hire by rich families that would get you to the front of the queues.
What? These are actually being supplied by Disney?
No, the guides were advertising.
Oh.
But I'm handicapped, and I can get you to the front of the queues.
Well, I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah, but it was for the families weren't handicapped. It was just the guides.
Yeah, so that's equal opportunities.
Oh yeah, but I don't have problems with the guides. It was the rich families hiring them.
But without the rich families hiring them, those guys and guides wouldn't have any jobs.
I didn't say it was controversial to me. I just mentioned there was a controversy there anyway.
I think that that's a perfectly reasonable thing to do.
Yeah, it's just the rich getting away with it again, isn't it?
But getting away with what? They're employing people. They are employing people. Yeah, they're employing people and they're who are providing a service.
Okay, that's okay.
Don't you think I can't.
If I was rich, I'd do it. So I agree.
Well, okay, yeah, I would. Yeah, I don't see it. I do think, honestly. If you go to the West End Theatre, very, very expensive, right? If you're a carer, and you're going with someone in a wheelchair, more often than not, the person in the wheelchair will get a discounted ticket, and the carer will often go free.
Yeah, but the carer is a more personal relationship, isn't it? It's either family or a person employed.
No, you're not hearing me, Craig. You get your mate, you get a cheap wheelchair off of eBay.
Well, you can hire wheelchairs.
Yeah, exactly.
As well.
Then you book a ticket, can I have one wheelchair and a carer, please? Some theatres, the carers have to pay half price, but still, and you get to go. I'm not saying you necessarily have to take a carer and be in a wheelchair.
It's advantage of if the policy is good, it's just people taking advantage of it.
And that's what I'm suggesting you should do.
Okay. Well, like I said, if I was rich enough, I'd have done it myself. So, I'm not going to paint it all bad.
No, you can't paint it all bad, can you?
But so that was all I have to say about that topic.
Topic complete.
If you're going to get solder for your headphones, make sure you get solder with lead in it, because of the Europeans, they took the lead out.
Well, hang on a second. Do I really want to be playing with hot lead?
Well, yeah.
Weren't Hot Lead a dance group on Top of the Pops in the 1970s?
There was Hot Topic.
Hot
and
Topics.
There was Legs and Co. Similar.
Yes. Snakes and Co. and Hot Topics. Yes, I remember both of them. Okay. So I don't want lead. I don't want to buy a solder iron just to fix some crappy.
Oh, haven't you got engineers in the?
I don't know. I've got no idea.
I know it's BBC contraband headphones, but literally it's 3 wires, isn't it?
It's 2 wires, and I've got them. I can't do it. I'll do it during the. It's the red one is the problem. The yellow one, it's fine because you can stick that on. And the red one is the one that has to go inside, and that's the bugger, sir. That's the bugger.
The easiest thing would be just chop off the end and add a new plug to it.
I'll chop your end off in a minute and plug you up. What?
Usually misses.
Thank you very much indeed. We got some people are tweeting in. Too lazy to call in, but they're tweeting in dog songs.
I'm rubbish on songs.
The Puppy Song by Harry Nilsson. If only I should have a puppy. No, I'm singing Dreams Are Nothing More Than Wishes. I'm singing the words to the Puppy Song to the tune of Dreams Are Nothing More Than Wishes by David Cassidy. So
I'm more visual. I'm not really musical.
Okay. Dog on Wheels by Bell and Sebastian.
No.
And the others, I think they've just made them up, just hoping that I would read out their words on the radio. I'm not doing it. I'm not just going to read out your words on the radio. You perverts. The lot of you. Well, I feel it's a weird show tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good though.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. We've had a good week. I'm allowed a ropey one every now and then.
Well, considering the week, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's been a weird old week, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've got an interview coming up with Will Storr in a moment.
Cool.
Yeah, that'll be cool. All right, Craig.
That book on Periscope at the front of the Periscope link.
I'm going to be reading a book while it's. I'll be fixing my headphones, then reading a book while it's on. Is that okay?
Oh, you deserve it. You came in early.
I came in well early. Thank you for. Quickly, Craig? Am I being moany about that thing today, or am I kind of right?
No, as far as pretences.
Yeah,
Same thing happened to Graham Linehan on the Today Show. They had him. They were going to interview him about his stage play.
Oh yeah.
And then they did one of those stupid positive and negative things about doing films into stage plays. Totally stitched him up. He's still angry about it to this day.
He does get quite angry, Graham Linehan. I've noticed on Twitter he gets very angry sometimes.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Is he?
Especially about Gamergaters. I love that.
Well, Craig, thank you. I don't really understand the whole Gamergate thing. I keep kind of looking at it and going, oh no, it's too complicated for me. It's too murky for that. I don't. All right, don't call in for the next 45 minutes or so, because we've got an interview with Will Storr, and it's flipping brilliant. He's written 2 fantastic books, right, which we will discuss. But the Heretics, you remember, a couple of weeks ago, I read out a bit from his book, Heretics, about the fact there is no colour. And and he starts to explain it in this, and then we go off on another tangent. He's such an interesting man, right? He's such an interesting man, and he's so clever. And we ended up, especially like 25-minute interview, we ended up talking for 40 minutes. We ended up talking for another 20 minutes afterwards, after I said, look, we should probably stop here. I tell you what, let me play some ads, and then we'll go into the interview. Oh, Don't call in for a bit. We're gonna, we're not going to take a break. The show continues, but in different, slightly different vein. Will Storr came in earlier on, and he's absolutely brilliant. I love his books, and I was kind of gushing in a slightly fanboy way when he came. I nearly asked him to sign my book. I nearly did, and I didn't. I cannot recommend his books highly enough. That they are wonderful, and they are joyous, and they are absolutely nuts. So, sit back, have a little listen. We'll speak soon, but here's me talking to Will Storr. Will, it's so nice to meet you. We've talked about this privately, but I feel I should say this. I was asked to be you years ago in the cutthroat world of television.
Oh, yeah.
Years ago, there was a dodgy producer, and I can't remember his name, which is probably good for legal reasons. And he called me in for a meeting for another job that he had for me that never turned into anything. And he said, have you read this book, Will Storr versus the Supernatural? And I said, no. He said, oh, get it, read it. So I got it, and I read it, and it was your book, and I loved it. And I met him a week later, and he said, it's good, isn't it? I said, yeah. He said, do you want to present the TV series? And I went, I can't. You know, it's not my story. Why don't you get him to do it? And I can't remember what the reason was. But I feel I have to share that with you, because...
No, I appreciate you being so principled, Ian, because I think many people wouldn't be. And it was a really weird period, because it was my first book, and I had lots of interest from TV production companies. And what would happen is that they would phone me up and say, look, we're going to make you a star, we're going to make you famous. Yeah. You know, and I was in my mid-20s at the time, so I actually thought this might actually happen. It's really exciting. And they'd all read my book, Will Storr vs. Supernatural, and we'd have a meeting, and they all sit down, and the book would be all like, have post-it notes sticking out of it. And they'd ask me all my questions, and they'd ask me how I track these people down, and they'd sit there with pads writing everything down. Yeah. And at the beginning I was getting really, really excited. But I was obviously a bit naive and a bit green. And then I found out that all journalists apparently know this, that when you write a book, all the TV production companies, they email you or ring you up and they say, oh, we're going to make you famous, we're going to put you on the telly, and they have a meeting, and there's somebody there writing everything down, and then you never hear from them again, and then the next thing you know, somebody famous and better looking, more famous and better looking than you is on the television doing your book. And that actually did happen. I'm not going to mention his name, but a very famous man actually did do my book with the same person, and then they had the cheek to contact me and phone me up and said, will you be a talking head on this thing? Yeah.
That's outrageous. Yeah, I'm sure you told them where to go.
I told them where to go. Yeah, I remember saying, and because they were amazed that I actually rejected the opportunity.
Yeah, because everyone wants to be on TV.
To be on the telly, and I said, no, because I'm the fall guy here. You've got this famous guy who listeners will be able to...
Not his fault at all.
No, not his fault at all. No, the guy, this famous TV guy who's meeting this... He's Lou Gentili, the guy who I kick off my book with. That was the thing they were doing.
Yeah.
Who was basically going to be me meeting Lou, and Lou was going to do his ghost hunting stuff, which is the stuff that freaked me out.
The same kind of narrative they followed.
Same narrative, same person, same everything. And they wanted me to be the talking head, to say they're going, oh, Lou's amazing. And I was like, no, because I know what my role's going to be here, because the guy who did the show is a famous, skeptic scientist guy.
Yeah.
I'm the idiot. Yeah. You want me to come on there and say this guy's amazing, he knows about ghosts, he's a ghost hunter, the ghosts are real. And then this famous guy is going to go, no, this guy's an idiot. And I'm going to look like a fool. I remember that, actually saying to this producer on the phone, saying, you've got to understand, I'm a young journalist, I'm nobody. If I'm on your Channel 4 TV show looking like an idiot, it's going to destroy my career.
Yeah, of course.
And they were like, no. It was awful. And, I said no, the thing happened. I never actually had I've never actually watched the TV program itself, because it's too annoying.
And it's been a long time since I'm spending most of my time at the moment, Will, buying back all the books, CDs, records and DVDs that I chucked out about 5-6 years ago when we had kids, and I thought, I won't need any of this stuff, and I'm buying it all back. And one of them was versus the Supernatural. So it's a long time since I've read it. It's coming. But the thing I get from that book and from Heretics, you put a lot of work into it. How long did it take you to write Supernatural?
That's it. Well, both of them took me about... Supernatural about 18 months, and the Heretics about 2 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they're very involved. This is a lazy phrase, but actually I mean it. You can go on a journey, man. There's a journey in each book, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. Yeah. So the Ghost book was very real. It was, it was one of the first stories I ever did. I just got my first job at Loaded, just down the road from here, actually.
Right.
This was in about the year 2000, and I found this amazing website of this guy, Lou Gentili, who was a central heating engineer by day, and by night he was the demonologist. And he'd go out,
I love it.
Yeah, and I thought this is brilliant. This is hilarious. So, and I pitched the story to my editor at the time. I said, it's going to be so funny. I'm going to go to Philadelphia. This guy's obviously an idiot, and I'm just going to make fun of him. It's going to be like you know the thing.
Yeah, yeah.
He's very cynical.
Oh, yeah, of
and
course,
I got the commission. And then I went to Philadelphia, and he just completely freaked me out. Like, everything he told me was going to happen, it all happened.
Yeah.
And I remember being on the first night, being so scared that it actually lapsed into anger, and I became furious with myself that I put myself in this situation, and it just, the whole thing just blew my mind. So that then, I was brought up a Catholic. I've always been like an atheist. So that experience completely freaked me out, and I go home and I went back and I sort of talked to people about it, and that sort of began the book, because I thought, because if what I experienced with Eugene Tilly is real, then that means that actually there might be such thing as an afterlife, which means that, like, there might be God. Like, it just sets off this snowball of, like,
course.
I'm neurotic by nature, so it completely
I'd pick that up, yes, I got that vibe.
So you do, so that was the beginning of that journey. And of course, you end up finding, well, I mean, I won't give the book away, but you end up finding out that a lot of the things you did experience, you find out the reasons why. And it continues in the Heretics, really, like the whole idea about how everything that we experience is kind of a construction by the brain.
Yeah.
That does explain a lot about why people who believe in ghosts see ghosts, because everything that we see is put there by our brain. And if you genuinely believe in ghosts and you put yourself in a scary situation,
you're going to see a ghost to explain.
You're going to see a ghost because something's going to happen and the brain's going to go, oh yeah, it's just a ghost.
I want to get to that in a second. All of the confabulation and all of that. So you just hinted at a world that was kind of. I've done a little bit of writing, but not much. And you hinted at a world that I don't think exists anymore.
Right.
Where 15, 16 years ago, you could get paid to go abroad.
Oh, I know.
For a week or a weekend or a couple of weeks and follow ghost hunters around.
I know.
That world doesn't exist anymore, does it?
I know. That was no, it doesn't, and it's awful. So I joined Loaded magazine just at the point where it was all going wrong. But basically, I don't know if you remember, Ian, in the mid to late 90s, it was a good magazine.
Yeah,
it was a good magazine
because
they had talented writers going around the world, being paid to go around. I remember one of the first issues I saw, a guy called Mick Bunnage, who's now famous as the Modern Toss. He does the Modern Toss cartoons.
Oh, is that? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he was Dr. Mick at Loaded, and they sent him to Israel to find Jesus' foreskin. That was his story. It cost them a fortune. The month that I joined the magazine, I think it was January 2000, and the editor at the time, Tim Southwell, complete lunatic, genius, had sent a writer called Phil Robinson around the world to find the meaning of life. And the one story cost him something like £10,000 or more. And the cover, he wanted to do the cover of the magazine just a big question mark, and he told, no, it's got to be a lady in a bikini. This was when things started going wrong.
Right.
Those were the days. 10 grand that story cost. And of course, this idiot from Loaded didn't get to find the meaning of life.
But now, one of my big bugbears is news stories, and actual newspapers will be someone looking at Twitter and seeing 3 people are angry about something. There is I was accused of being a racist because of something silly I said on a game show, and 3 people on Twitter kicked off. And it's just, go and investigate a story, but I suppose no one's paying to do that.
No, there is no money. There is no money, and partly it's, well, not partly. I mean, a huge amount of that's due to the internet.
Yeah,
is that otherwise intelligent editors and people who are running the media in the early 90s were beguiled by the siren song of these Silicon Valley entrepreneurs who said information wants to be free.
Yeah,
you must give it away for free, and they went yes, information wants to be free, and now we see a situation in so I'm freelance writer now. When I started in journalism in 2000. In the 1990s, journalists were paid about 30p a word to write stories, and today, in 2016, journalists are paid about 30p a word to do stories.
Yeah.
Like the money's static. There's no budget to actually do stories.
That's if they get
anymore.
paid. Of course, Huffington Post and other things where it's your work will be seen by thousands of people.
Exposure. I
saw a tweet you did the other day about someone asking you to do a DVD extra.
Yeah, for The Conjuring 2, because
quite a big film.
I've got a big film, and one of the things that I researched for. Will Storr versus the Supernatural. And this is one of the lingering mysteries in my head. I've kind of got a journey into more scepticism, but this still freaks me out. Was the Enfield poltergeist case, the Enfield haunting? And Guy
Lyon Playfair was the guy, wasn't he? I read the book. Yeah,
and Maurice Grosse, of course. And Maurice. So I interviewed Maurice, and he put me in touch with Janet, and I got Janet. Janet was the girl.
Was she the kid?
She was the kid, the 12-year-old at the centre of the whole
floating
thing,
around.
Yeah. And I tracked her down, and I got her first interview, like, for God knows how long, and and I kind of shed new light on the things that happened there, and so that was the first sort of proper investigative work that was done on Enfield for a long, well, probably since the 70s when it happened. And now, of course, The Conjuring 2 has come out, which is the Enfield haunting. And I got an email the other day from the production team saying, oh, we want you to come and do an interview with us about your investigation. In the Enfield haunting. And I was like, so I googled, what's The Conjuring 2? Oh, it's a big, massive Warner Brothers movie. It's huge. So I went, I'd love to do this. I'm very interested. Love to talk about this. What's the fee? Oh, we don't usually pay. And it's just like, I need to be paid. Do you know what I mean? This is my job. I need to be paid. And then, we'll get back to you. And of course, you never hear back. And
interesting to watch the DVD to see who did get that gig.
I bet it's that guy.
Yeah, it's that guy.
Yeah.
It is annoying, particularly with something as big as Warner Brothers, when you think, come on, guys, there's millions of dollars going into this. £500 for a couple of hours or something.
But that's it. You get these big, massive industries. And I think, Silicon Valley, the tech industry is far more guilty of this than the entertainment industry, to be fair. I mean, actually, I've made more money from the Ghost Book on people buying the film rights than I did ever,
really?
In royalties, because people always think, I want to make this into a film, and a few people have tried, nobody's succeeded. Yeah. But I've made 2 or 3 grand over the last 10 years of these little checks, whereas for royalties I get about 25 quid.
Yeah.
You make hardly anything. It's like 60p a book or something. But Silicon Valley are far more guilty. We've seen since the beginning of the 2000s a huge shift. All the money has been taken away from music and from journalism, and it's all gone to Silicon Valley. I mean, the latest thing that they're doing is hosting news stories on Facebook.
Yeah.
And now Facebook are making all the advertising money, and that's a big reason why The Guardian are suddenly owing, millions, literally millions of pounds.
And the Guardian could go, and what a loss, whatever your political beliefs are, what a loss that would be to the world. If one of the only kind of left-leaning newspapers we've got.
Yeah.
Goes, and journalists as well, the independent and quality journalism. Again, whatever you think of the politics, there is a strong chance that we're going to lose it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's a real threat, and the toxicity of this whole thing is kind of what you touched on when you said, in those days you could go to America and do these amazing stories. So what happens is that because there's no money left, there's no budget to send people away, the quality of the journalism goes down because we've got less and less time. So because my income has been static for 20 years, effectively, I have to do more in less time, which means the quality goes down. Necessarily, the quality goes down because you're doing the same in less time, just to keep yourself, paying the mortgage. So then people start going, well, this is rubbish. This journalism's rubbish. Why should we pay for it? It's rubbish. And you want to go, it's not as good as it used to be. I'll grant you that, but that's because you're not paying for it. And you get this awful, kind of sense of entitlement of people. They complain about it not being good enough, but they also don't expect to pay for it.
They want everything for free. They want radio for free, which they want TV, they want box sets, they want music, movies. It's all for free.
Yeah. I mean, before I was in journalism, I was in the music industry, and back then. A CD was $15.99. Now, what is it? I bought an album a couple of days ago. It was like £7 in the release.
Do we sound like 2 old farts? I'm just worrying that the kids, the 16-year-olds are going, listen to those 2 old men. What are they talking about?
Yeah. I mean, maybe we do. But there is a problem. I mean, in our day, in our day, like growing up, the idea was that you don't give money. That everybody hated the music industry because you were giving money to the man, and the people that really need the money, the creatives, the artists who are making the thing. But now people are very happy to give money to the man, but the man is not the record companies anymore. The man is Google, the man is Facebook, the man is, these are the big corporations, but they've got this hippy-dippy,
friendly
cool,
kind of
faces, but they're
just like you.
They're sucking all the money away, and so we're left.
Let me talk about this, right? This book that Will Storr, the Heretics, Adventures with Enemies of Science. This book blew my tiny mind to the point where I read out huge chapters of it on the radio because I was trying to explain I couldn't. Give us a little bit of the background to this book.
Okay, so the book, I mean, it's almost, it acts as kind of a sequel to the Ghost Book, really. So the Ghost Book is, what are these people who believe in ghosts?
And this is quite an old book. This is a couple of years?
Yeah, this is published in 2013.
Okay, right.
Yeah. So it's 3 years old. And so this is asking, why do otherwise intelligent people believe crazy things? Because when I was doing the Ghost Book, one of the things that you'd find with especially the skeptical community is like, people believe in ghosts because they're stupid. And that is not true. Like, so, the Morris Gross, the Enfield poltergeist guy, he's not a stupid man. So I met I met some really stupid people, as you know, in the Ghost Book, but I also did meet some really bright people in the Ghost Book who believe in ghosts. So why do, otherwise intelligent people believe crazy things? And it begins with me in the middle of nowhere in some redneck town in Australia with a creationist.
Yeah.
Who, you know, again, an intelligent guy, but, you know, sincerely believes that the Old Testament version of the Bible is true. I know you've been in trouble talking about this before, so we've got to be careful where we go.
Yeah,
but, you know, but sincerely believed that, you know, that gay people were going to go to hell, told me that I was going to go to hell because I was a non-believer.
Yeah.
And yet, this was not a stupid man. He was an eloquent man, you know, he was an educated man, and he believed in the literal truth of the Bible. So it's like, this is a mystery.
You get to speak to all the people that were there, like young, you know, 20-somethings who you would expect to be quite liberal in their beliefs. You know, although, you know, thinking that being gay is okay is not necessarily a liberal thing. It should, but they're all, no, he's right, yeah, they're all, homosexuals are sinners. Yeah.
It was amazing. I thought at least I'd get some, like, teenagers going, oh, no, but my parents have dragged me here, so it's mental, isn't it? Please, we're not all like this. But they're like, yeah. Why don't you believe that?
Yeah,
you know, and I was like, oh my god, it was a real So that to me is a real mystery because you know there have been books written before about you know people who don't believe in science, and the tone is generally these people are idiots, and they're not idiots.
What's interesting in both your books is that you end up questioning yourself and what you believe to be true. And there's the bit when you're hanging out with the skeptics with a K, and you're kind of you're sort of. I'm putting words into your mouth a bit, but you're sort of saying I should be on the side of these people, but I don't know if I am on the side of these people.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I first sort of came across the skeptics with a capital S. In a kind of weird conference in Manchester, and what they were doing was all these skeptics, they hate homeopathy, like to a crazy degree. They really hate homeopathy. People who use homeopathic medicine, they get really angry about it.
They do.
They're having a whole conference about it, and the highlight of this conference was they were going to have a live broadcast from James Randi, who's their big hero. James Randi's like their Richard Dawkins kind of guy, and Richard Dawkins, as you know, is a supporter of James Randi, so they all love James Randi. And they were all going to do the homeopathic overdose. They were going to get these homeopathic pills. They're going to take they were going to take the whole thing, the whole packet of pills.
These guys are crazy.
And they weren't going to die. And that was going to prove, you know, it's just like, oh my God. And the first thing was, why do you care? Like, I went through a phase of when I was 18, 19, or even when I was at school, when I was doing RE at my Catholic school, I didn't believe in God, and I was angry about it. I was like, sod you, mum and dad. You know, and you get really angry about it. But then you grow up and you just think, I'll sod it. You know, whatever.
So if they're not hurting anyone,
exactly,
then let them get on with it.
If they want to go to Boots and take something and also, you know, placebo effect is a real thing.
Yeah.
And what homeopathy is a very elaborate placebo theatre. There were all these, you know, there are all these ways it makes you feel. You know, it's been proven that Nurofen has more effect than the Boots own, even though it's chemically the same, because people feel like it's going to have more effect. You know, placebo is a real thing, and homeopathy is very elaborate placebo theatre, so it will help with things like headaches and pain because, you know, it will make you feel better. So who cares about this? But they were so angry about it. And that made me think, this is something more than this going on there. This is more than just, you know, we were on this, they believe they're on a righteous mission to save the world from, I don't know what, people being ripped off for too quick from Boots.
Part of their argument, I suppose, is people being ripped off, but also they consider it to be a danger. I had a run-in with, when I was at the BBC, I did a phone-in on homeopathy, and we had someone on who was really pro-homeopathy, and someone on who was really anti it. And I don't believe in it, you know, and I was kind of erring on that side. Both sides were really pissed off with what I'd said, and I was getting attacked from both sides on Twitter and email.
Yeah.
From people saying, I was too anti, I was too pro. People like Simon Singh, isn't it? I think.
Yeah. I interviewed him in the book,
and I was being attacked from loads of people on Twitter, and then Simon sent me this really long email explaining why homeopathy is wrong and why it's dangerous and all of this stuff. And I replied, okay, I appreciate your email, thank you. And he replied, look, why don't I take you out for lunch one day and go through it with you? I went, I'm going to be honest, Simon, it was a phone-in on a radio show I did last week. I'm done with it. It doesn't affect my life that much. And he said, well, I'm very disappointed in your attitude. But both sides were really angry about
That's it, and that's the weird thing. That's what I just do not understand. And actually, there's a guy in the book who organised this conference. He's a nice guy. I think his name is Michael Marshall. And just by coincidence, I don't follow him on Twitter because, you know, he's a nice guy, but I just don't, you know. But there's somebody retweeted something into my timeline just a few days ago, and he was still banging on about homeopathy. And I thought, my God, he's still banging on about homeopathy. Does it really matter that much? But to me, that's an indicator that there's something more going on there. And actually, later in the book, I interview a very smart guy. Jonathan Haidt, Professor Jonathan Haidt, who's written a brilliant book called The Happiness Hypothesis, which I really recommend. This is where I first read about confabulation, which I know you want to talk about in a minute. And, you know, and I interviewed him for the book, and he said, if you want to spot irrationality, look for the emotionality. Look for what people feel passionate about, for the things they're getting angry about, because the more emotional you feel about something, the less you're able to be rational about it.
Yeah.
You know, that it's a sign that it's a core part of your identity, that it's really touching those parts of you that are irrational. And you know, and there's that thing where you have this idea that if you're irrational about something, you can kind of learn your way back to the truth, but you can't, because the very thing that's supposed to be on that journey of learning is the thing that's become almost like corrupted. Your entire worldview is going to become corrupted, and that's really interesting. You know, especially in the kind of Twitter age, you know, when it's constant anger, constant outrage, in the kind of BuzzFeed age, where it's lots of clickbait, lots of people getting really angry.
5 reasons why you should hate this.
Exactly. Yeah. And that has been a guiding kind of flag of sanity for me, this idea that the more angry people are, the less you can trust them.
Yeah.
So, you know, I know that Richard Dawkins is an incredibly clever guy. I know that he's the selfish gene, amazing, what a genius. But I also know that he cannot be trusted to talk about things like religion and the dangers of religion, because he's so angry about it. And as soon as you see that anger, you can't trust them. And that's true. That's true. As true for Richard Dawkins as it is true for, you know, someone like David Icke, who was just saying he threw me out of his house once because I asked him about the lizards. I know.
I didn't. I steered well clear. Now, confabulation.
Yes.
I spent 20 minutes the other night trying to explain it. Can you explain it? Because this is one of the things that blew my mind.
Yeah. Okay. So. It's really complicated.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. So I will do my best. I can only do my best. Okay. So. I think the easiest way to explain it is if you imagine, you know, what is the experience of being human? What is it like to be in a head, to have a self? Well, you've got two parts of your brain. There's the majority of your brain, which is emotional. It's just the emotions, the things that you're feeling. So at any given point, you're feeling things. Most of them are very subtle. Some of them are big things, but you're just feeling things. That's your unconscious mind. That's most of your mind. And then you've also got a voice, a little voice in your head that's constantly narrating everything. It's narrating the emotions. Oh, I feel really hungry. Oh, I hate that person. Oh, I feel excited because this is going on. So that's what it's like to be human. So confabulation is this idea that voice that's explaining everything that you're doing, telling you, you know, I've just got into the kitchen because I want a drink. Oh, I hate this person because they're a homeopath or whatever, has no access to the rest of your brain. It's making it all up. And so there were these amazing experiments that kind of demonstrated this, that were done in the 1960s by a guy called Professor Michael Gazzaniga and his colleague, I think is Robin Sperry. And so they took advantage of these people who have got split brains. So what that is, is that there are people who suffer from epileptic fits that are really bad. They're called grand mal seizures, and they're very dangerous. And what happens is there's some electrical disturbance starts in one part of the brain and it spreads to the entire brain, and once it's done that, once you're in the grand mal area, you're in trouble. So there was an idea, how are we going to stop people experiencing these seizures? And someone came up with this completely insane idea. What about if we cut their brains in half? Like we sever all the wiring.
The old days were brilliant,
I know, yeah.
Okay, fine. Here's a big budget. Go and do it.
So everyone knows that there's two hemispheres of the brain. There's two halves of the brain, and they're connected with all this wiring. So they just cut it. And the amazing thing was, it worked. The grand mal seizures stopped, and apparently these people there was no ill effects with these people. They just carried on as normal, perfectly fine, so it worked. But then, you know, Gazzaniga and Sperry had this idea. I know, because they knew that most of the speech and language generating stuff is in the left brain, and in the right brain there is no speech and language generating stuff. It's kind of silent. So why don't we can experiment on these split brain people. They're not crazy, they're not mad, they're just like you and me, but they've got split brains. So what they did was they found a way of, I think most people know that one half of the brain controls the other half of the body. So if you find a way of showing a sign saying get up and walk to one eye in a certain way, it will only go to one half of the brain. And then, because there's in a normal brain, it will go, if you showed something to one eye, it would go into one half of the brain, but then it would spread because the wiring's there. But in these people, it got stuck, and there was no wiring. So they showed these signs to the one eye in a certain specific way, saying, just say it said, point to the hat. And that was one of the experiments. They said so they showed them a picture of a hat, And so, they've seen the picture of that with one eye, it goes into the right half of the brain, but because the right half of the brain has no speech-generating mechanism, hasn't any language, there was nothing in their brain that could say hat, you've just seen a hat.
Yeah.
So they didn't know. So the hat was in the brain, so you say to the person, what have you just seen? And the person says, nothing, haven't seen anything. But as they're saying that...
Yeah.
Their left hand is pointing at the hat.
Isn't that incredible?
And the person's going, what's my bloody hand doing? You know what I mean? So it's really crazy. And they did loads of these experiments. They did an experiment where they said walk, and the person got up and walked, and said, why are you walking? Why are you walking to the kitchen? Oh, because I'm thirsty.
And that's confabulation, is it?
Yeah. So the only thing that's different about these people is that their brains are split. So we all do this. So we all are just behaving. We're acting. We're just zombies behaving and doing stuff in the world. And we only feel like we have control over our behaviour because we've got this voice, and that voice is making it all up.
Makes it up.
It's just guessing. I mean, it might be right about some of it, but it might just as easily be wrong, and it's weird. So it suggests.
It's weird. Let's take it mildly. Will.
It suggests we have no free will. It suggests that we have no idea why we feel what we feel, no idea why we believe what we believe. So we are completely emotional. Now, there is debate in the scientific community about whether we have no free will at all or just a bit of free will under certain circumstances. That's it.
The same thing is happening to me as was happening when I read this book. I can't see properly. Everything's going a bit blurry. Because it's literally my mind is being blown.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as colour.
That's it. Yeah. So this is another completely mental idea, but it's true. I mean, it's very easy to demonstrate that it's true. If so our brains give us this illusion that we are looking out into the world.
Yep.
So we're inside our head and we're looking out into the world. And basically, what are our eyes? They're like windows. We're looking out of them.
Yeah.
But of course, information only goes into the eye. So actually, what's happening is we're stuck inside our brains. Information is going in, like electrical pulses are hitting the eye, and it's being translated.
I feel physically uncomfortable as you're explaining
into the world.
This to me.
So we are stuck in our heads. It looks like we're looking out, but everything that you're seeing right now is inside your head. You're stuck. You have no direct access to the outside world. It's complete fantasy. It's complete illusion. Like if you hold out your arm and look at your thumbnail, that tiny bit of thumbnail, that's all you can see in colour. It's all you can see in high definition. Everything around that is black and white and out of focus. It's sensitive to change. So what happens is, so everything around that dot, your brain's just putting it there. It's just guessing. I know roughly what this
around
should be.
incredibly fast.
Yeah. So when it detects there's some change or something in there that it's not expecting, it sends your eye out to investigate it. That tiny little speck.
Yeah.
It's the fastest movement in the human body. It's called a saccade. We do 4 to 5 a second. And if you imagine your pupils just constantly moving, tiny little like twitching like that, and your brain edits that movement out of your vision. So because it doesn't want you to know that it's doing it. So we feel like the eye is still, but it's not. It's constantly just
and one of the things you mentioned as well is that that some people believe that there is a gap between what we actually see happening and what our eyes brain see of maybe up to half a second, and it's the brain filling the gap. So you see a ball coming towards you. And your brain
the awful thing is, I mean, when I was doing this book, I was like, this must be like fringe stuff. Like, there must be about 4 mad scientists believe this stuff, but then no, this is not.
This is it.
This is it. Like, it's not. It's widely accepted. It's pretty much consensus because it's obvious. So the information is coming into the brain, and the brain is turning that into this big illusion, this theatre that we exist in. And of course, that takes time. It takes time to do that. It's not instantaneous. I read something recently where they think now that the brain constructs our reality in 2.5 second little chunks. Because what they do is they experiment with people and they give people I think they watch bits of a film and they change the order of like the speech. They muck about with the order of things happening, and if it's less than 2.5 seconds, they don't notice because the brain is just correcting everything as it goes along because it's making the illusion. So the brain, it takes the brain a bit of time to process this reality, which means we're all living in the past. Is that right? We're living in the past, so that means it's got to do things like if someone throws a ball at you, you've got to know where the ball is right now in order to catch it. So it moves the ball a little bit just so you can catch it. So your brain is constantly constructing reality.
I should just say, for anyone who's listening, this last couple of minutes of conversation may make it sound like the book is quite dry and quite sciencey, and it's not at all. I really want to get that across.
Yeah.
It's Heretics it's witty, it's humorous, it's bleak as well. The bit when you go, and I can't remember the gentleman's name, to with the Holocaust denied, the
David
historian,
Irving.
David Irving. It's I could have read a whole book on that. It's such an uncomfortable... I don't think I'm doing you a disservice by saying you're kind of a sort of liberal, lefty kind of person.
Oh, yeah, you've got me.
I got you. I've sussed you. You can't hide from me. And you are having to hang out for a week with Nazis and fascists who think that Hitler was right. And
Hitler was a friend of the Jews. That's what David Irving... Yeah.
And the Holocaust was grossly exaggerated, if it happened at all.
Yes.
And it's... You kind of write that chapter in a diary form. It's horrible. Because you hate it. You physically can't bear being there.
Yeah. I mean, most of the time when you go on stories, even as undercover, you're there for 2 or 3 days. And I was there for like 8 days, like with David Irving and a lot of his followers, many of whom were Nazis, like they literally had...
At the least, they're incredibly racist.
Yeah, the least they're incredibly racist. But seriously, I mean, there was the big climax of the holiday with David Irving was... it was. These people have paid a lot of money to go on holiday with David Irving around these Second World War kind of historical sites and to hear his version of what actually happened here. It's quite extraordinary. So I was hanging out in, the Hitler bunker with David Irving and all these people. But on the last night, there was a screening of Downfall, which, as you know, is the very, very good German, very realistic story of the last days of Hitler in the Hitler bunker. And there was a guy there who bowed out and said, I can't watch it because it was too upsetting because my dad was there. Yeah. And these people are just incredibly, beyond, you think, I was brought up in Tunbridge Wells. I went to a comprehensive school. I've been shielded. I'm a white guy. I've never really experienced this stuff. We talk about the models. I mean, my model of the world, everyone kind of just loves each other. I've never really been exposed to this before, but it was kind of beyond what I thought was possible with racism. It was kind of the things they were saying. I mean, some of them in the book.
Flippant.
Just completely
flippant. What they're throwing out at you.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
There's a bit where you almost get busted as well as being an undercover writer. You're writing notes in the margins of your book or something, and the guy goes, let's have a look at that.
Yeah.
Let me finish the chapter. Now go on, let's have a look. What are you reading?
Yeah, I'm writing down all their racist jokes and racist comments in the margin of my book, and it was terrifying because, and there was one guy that I'm sure had my number, because he kept saying things like, I knew there was a reason I didn't trust you, and things like this. It was really sinister. And of course, I was in the middle of where we were in Poland with 12 neo-Nazis.
Yeah.
I mean, it was quite scary, and I had to pretend for 8 days that I was totally racist, and it was uncomfortable. We were in the basement of this hotel, and there was a German family having dinner, elderly family, and one of the guys gets YouTube out. He's drunk, starts playing all these Hitler speeches and talking along and singing. It's something called, I think it's called the Horst Wessel song, which is some Nazi, I don't know what it is, but singing along and clapping along, and of course these Germans know what that song. It was just awful. It was really awful.
In the gas chamber, I think it was, or certainly the concentration camp, where David Irving is talking to the schoolgirls.
Oh my God, that was the worst. So we went. It's called Caddick, and it's a concentration camp. You can visit it. It's awful. We were walking past all these observation towers, and I think it was David Irving walked past. There's the box office, joking about all this stuff. And actually, we were actually in the gas chamber, and there was a group of, I think they were Russian schoolgirls. They'd been given a tour. They were all crying. It was pretty bad, and he started barracking them. You've got to be very suspicious about what you see here. These are not airtight doors. These are standard air raid blast doors. This is not, it was just like, oh God. And I had this weird moment. As I said, I've never believed it. I was brought up Catholic. I was an altar boy. I've never believed in God. I always thought it was mad. But I did something really weird. I actually left the gas chamber. I was so disturbed, and I crossed myself, and I prayed. I was so disturbed by this thing. It was like I had to kind of cleanse myself. Yeah. It was awful. It was awful. And of course, the great irony of the whole thing was that the day after I returned from my fascist holiday, I was marrying my mixed race girlfriend.
Well, they asked about your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Can I see a picture? No, I haven't got one.
And they're like, you haven't got
How do you do that, though?
Yeah.
Because in that chapter, you're how uncomfortable you are comes across. How did you manage to do that for 8 days?
We're kind of with difficulty,
Have you spoken to any of them since? Have you kind of come out?
Yeah, I have. So the first thing that happened was, because when I bought the tickets and everything, of course I didn't give them, I was very careful not to give them my address.
Yeah.
And then after we got married, I got sent to my house, my home address, like a congratulations card from I think it was from, I can't remember, it was from somebody in the party. Sorry, ramifications. So what happened was, then the Sunday Times magazine ran an excerpt from that David Irving chapter in the magazine. I mean, I think it's like 10,000 words in the book, but it was just 2,000 words, like a very short version. And on the basis of that, one of the guys in the book, because what I wanted to do with the book was to not jump to these stereotypes, and actually in the book, one of the things that sort of I was nervous about putting in the book, because what happened was at the beginning of the tour, I've arranged with David Irving, I'm going to interview you and give me interview time because I'm writing this book. I didn't tell him exactly what the book was, but he agreed to do it. And then a bit like with David Icke, I went a bit too far, and he got angry and he stormed out. So I'm panicking because I haven't got enough stuff. And I'm telling the other guys, I said, I'm writing a book about psychology, right? And I want to interview David, but he's not giving me time. And then, so at the end of every day, he's giving these lectures to the tour group as part of the deal with the tour package. And then I find out one of these guys, I forget his name, unfortunately, but I think his name was Mark. He comes up to me and said, "Oh, by the way, we've all agreed we're going to ask David questions." Questions for you that'd be helpful for your book. And I thought, God, that's really nice. Yeah. Like, and in that moment, that Nazi, he was like, and he was the guy with a tattoo on his arm of this, like, the German Panzer Division. It wasn't a swastika, but it might as well have been, you know what I mean?
He was doing something human.
Yeah, he was helping
helpful.
me out. He was really nice. And then, so when he read that excerpt in the book, I think the book wasn't even out yet, but he went on Amazon, jumped on Amazon, gave it 1 out of 5.
Gave you a bad review.
Gave you a bad review. and I can't remember how the reviewers read it, but it was, because I don't look at Amazon because it's too upsetting when you see the slag-offs. But he wrote this review where he was going, remember the good times, kind of remember the time, Will, I feel betrayed, we were walking down the lake, and I thought, oh God. But when the book came out and he read the book and he read that I actually had put in the book that I liked this guy who was helping me out, he changed it to 3 out of 5. So, I thought, but that's it. That's what I'm trying to get across with the book. We label people. Yes, they were Nazis. Yes, of course, if we're looking at it from that moral sphere, these are evil people. But they think they're right. And a lot of the people on that Nazi holiday had parents who were Nazis. They had parents that fought for the Nazi Party in the Second World War. And what I got from that trip was that, yes, I can't say it enough times in case I get into trouble, they believe terrible, terrible things. Yeah. But ultimately, they've made a mistake. They're not evil. They haven't come from hell to weave disaster and, horror. They're not cartoon characters. They're people who have made a mistake. And they've made that mistake because they love their mum and dad. They love their mum and dad, but they've been born into... And so all their experiences tell them that their mum and dad are wonderful, lovely, amazing people. But they've been born into a world where Nazi is a synonym for evil. And they can't cope with it. They don't want to believe that. So they're expending all of this psychological effort trying to rewrite history in the kind of defence of the honour of their mum and dad. I mean, that guy who couldn't be the film with downfall. He wasn't the only one. There were lots of people there. And this guy, Mark, he was American, but first generation immigrant parents fought in the Second World War for the Germans. So they're kind of on a mission of love on behalf of their parents. Of course, say it again, they believe evil things, horrible things, they're not a force for good in the world. But in their head, they've made a mistake. Yeah.
And in their head, they are right. That is the narrative that has got them. In the way that we think we are right, being liberal lefties, and Tories think they are right. The kind of I could talk to you forever. We should come to an end in a bit. Okay. But the book, one of the messages of the book seems to be that it's very difficult for people to change their points of view. Because I will always think I'm right. David Cameron will always think he's right. We will always think we're right. With a little room for shift, maybe.
Well, with a little room for shift. I mean, that is the conclusion of the book, really. It's very, very hard to change your beliefs. And the more emotional you are about your beliefs, the harder it is to change. Yeah. That's the red flag. So it's perfectly possible, if you don't care about climate change, to read one thing on climate change, read the other thing on climate change, and come to a rational decision. But if you feel angry about it, in any direction, you cannot be trusted to come to a rational conclusion about that thing. And that's why these homeopathic people who are crazy about it, they're not to be trusted. It's the anger, that's the red flag. Never trust angry people. And since writing that book, I have far less faith in my own beliefs now. Before, I would have been quite happy to have gone on and pitched a comment is free on The Guardian and written a big rant about something. But I won't now anymore. I won't, because to do a good job of that, you've got to be angry. To be a good talk radio DJ, in those certain shows, you've got to be angry about things.
Yeah, definitely.
And there's those angry people are the last people you should be listening to. So that's it. And actually, sort of the book I'm working at the moment is about.
I was going to say, what are you up? What are you doing? I know you've written a fiction book.
I've written a novel. Yeah,
How's that gone?
Yeah, good. I mean, it's my first novel. I'm very proud of it.
Fiction book.
Fiction book.
Well, give it a quick plug. Go on,
okay, it's called The Hunger and the Howling of Killian Lone. So it's a sort of grown-up fairy tale. It's sort of literally nothing to do with this at all. But I'm very proud. And the next book is coming out in spring next year. It's called Selfie, and it's about the self, and it's the story of how our culture has arrived at the place that we're at.
Oh man, when it comes out, you have an open invitation to come on. Seriously, honestly, I think you're so good. It sounds like there is still so much more in this book. We've not even talked about James Randi. Maybe we'll do it another day. The book is The Heretics: Adventures with the Enemies of Science. This is an old library copy actually, but I did pay for it. I love it.
Good.
I love it, and it's a book I'm going to go back to again. And there are just chapters I've just had to reread it because I thought I've just read this and it's not gone in properly.
Okay.
Because it's so fantastic what you're saying in it. It's so brilliant. It's so nice to meet you as well.
No, great to meet you
and
too.
we'll speak to you in the spring when the new book comes out.
Hooray! Thank you,
Will.
Cheers.
Talk Radio.
And we're live again. We'll take calls straight to air after midnight. The book is that you should all buy is Will Storr, The Heretics: Adventures with the Enemies of Science. He's a fantastic bloke. We'll get him in again anytime he wants to come in. We'll have him in. We talked for a long time about James Randi after that. Boy, oh boy. We'll take calls straight to air after the news. Don't call in just yet. I shall tell you when. I'm Ian Lee. This is Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
I'm so glad that I got her to think of. She's fine as any Valentine. I think about her all the time. Cross my heart and hope to die. She sends me silly messages and pictures, directing traffic in the mall or posing with some brand new shoes. She never fails to surprise. She makes me laugh. She makes me smile. And I could hang out with her all day and night. She makes me laugh. She makes me cry. And I would like to be with her for a while. I'm so glad that I got her to think of. We'll have a dinner date tonight and play some Scrabble with the guys and wear our pink party hats. Maybe I should take her on safari. You'll see us wave from our canoe if that's what she wants to do. Tell me what's wrong with that. She makes me laugh. She makes me smile. And I could hang out with her all day and night. She makes me laugh. She makes me cry. And I would like to be with her for a while. No matter what else I do, she's still the girl I should hold on to. No matter whatever else I do, she's still the girl I should hold on to. No matter whatever else I do, she's still the girl. She makes me laugh. She makes me smile. And I could hang out with her all day and night. She makes me laugh. She makes me cry. And I would like to be with her for a while.
I recorded the best video of my 4-year-old, kind of sort of miming along to that in the back of the car. He was getting really into it. He's giving it all this. He's giving it all this. He's got an excellent sense of humour, unlike his father. Right, last hour of the show, we're live, it's 5 minutes past 12. It calls straight to air for the last hour of the show. If you want to give us a call, the way it works is, I sit here, and, I say kind of go through the papers. There ain't nothing in the papers, guys. There ain't nothing in the papers. So what would be ideal is if you all call me up now. A little bit different to the rest of the show. You dial 0844 499 1000 and you come straight to air. 7 pence a minute plus access charge, significantly more from some mobiles. Not from all. I don't know. You'll have to do the research yourself, guys. Okay, I can't do all of the thinking for you. That would be ridiculous. And the show has taken its first casualty. What are we now? Month 7 or something? I don't know. The first casualty, Alan Caddick, has fallen on his slightly bitter sword. It's slightly bitter. Alan upset that he has not been first caller for the last week or so and has decided not to call in anymore. It's his football. He's picked it up. He's run away with it. As he's running away, he's turning around, flicking us the V's. And just as we're lobbing an empty can of Pepsi at his head, he manages to go in and into his house and shut the front door. So he is dead to us. What he doesn't realise is I've got my own football and I'm going to be kicking that around. So these things happen. The show is bigger than everybody, including me. You know, the show will continue without me when I'm dead and gone. And I thought, 44 499 1000. I thought I was going to die today on that bloody cable car. Have you been in the cable car in London? It's bleak, man. It's terrifying. It's very high up. It makes weird noises. It's much higher than I expected. Thank God I had. Someone's posted the video on YouTube. Yeah. Thank God I had the carriage to myself. There was one bit when I thought some people were going to get on the carriage with me. I'm thinking, why? No, there's no one here. It's empty, man. Get on the one behind me. And luckily, for them, they did, because I would have been swearing just as much as if they'd been in there, maybe even more. 0844 499 1000. Let's go to line 1. You're on the wireless.
Hi, Ian. It's Jonathan, the other Jonathan.
Hello, other Jonathan.
Hey, so I've got 3 points. First of all, that interview was really, really interesting. I actually work at The Guardian, so a lot of the comments about the future of journalism and all that really sort of rang home. And also, just the whole interview was really, really interesting. I might actually buy that book.
Journalism is dead, isn't it?
The money in it is kind of dead. Like, there's no money from advertising anymore. So The Guardian, anyway, is focusing on consumers, membership, money from people rather than advertisers.
That doesn't work. That doesn't work. The Telegraph were behind a paywall for a while, and I think they've got rid of the paywall, haven't they?
It wouldn't be a paywall as such. It's more sort of just member-focused activities. I don't know.
It isn't going to work. But it isn't going to work because everybody wants everything for free, particularly their news. Now, I haven't bought a newspaper in years, primarily because that's true. I buy a newspaper at the weekend occasionally, but primarily because I work in places where there are loads of newspapers. But because of things like the Huffington Post, everybody wants it for free.
Yeah, it's not sustainable going forwards, and if it leads to a decline in journalism, that'll be a decline across the world.
But the decline has already happened. You know, no one's investigating the VIP scandal, paedophile scandal. Instead, what people are doing is they're going on Twitter and they're seeing someone's upset with something in Big Brother, and they're making that into a news story.
Yeah, it's not great, but obviously there are legal issues involved with that. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's for people that work in the media as well, it's kind of like, do we really want to report this? Is there nothing else? But yeah.
Oh no, I get it. But I do think there are some people that relish those ridiculous stories. But yeah, you're right. And although when we were at BBC Local Radio, when I kind of got there were loads of reporters who were going, I'm working on a really good story. It'll take a couple of weeks, but it involves corruption in the local council or stuff like that. And about a year into my tenure there, I noticed that they were getting rid of these people one by one, until by the end they were. This did my nutting. I know it did Cass nutting as well. They were coming up with stories that would get likes or shares on Facebook. And they were getting all the stories from local newspapers, And it was like, well, yeah, okay, where are the journalists getting the stories? And one by one, they'd all been moved out, moved on, put somewhere else, and taken off researching and making their own news stories. And all the stories we did were nicked from local papers, or nicked from offline. That was it. That was it. That was the BBC doing that.
Yeah, it's really not great. It's just kind of sad. The money just isn't there. That's the end of it, really. So 2 other points. First of all, congratulations for surviving the cable car.
Flipping it, man. That was horrible.
It was one of the funniest videos.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, I bet you're the kind of pervert that gets their thrills from watching amateur pornography or snuff movies.
Not at all. It was when the doors shut on the way back round. That's when I started laughing hysterically in the office.
Oh, it was. There should have been someone to tell me to get off. I didn't. I thought it was going to stop so that it would. I'd be able to get off, and it didn't. And then I thought there was no one there, and I thought someone's going to tell me I can get off in a minute, and they didn't. And then just as I'm about to get off, the door shuts, and you go round again. It was horrible.
Yeah. It sounded horrible. I mean, I've been on it. It was just kind of relaxing. I guess it depends on your experiences.
Yes, it depends on your... £8 to cack my pants.
It is a rip-off, to be honest.
Well, you know, I mean, flipping heck, it was and I got motion sickness. The most terrifying... Oh, wait, 499-1000, by the way. The most terrifying experience I've ever had up high was when my wife and I went to Osaka. We went to Osaka, and I read it in Japan, and I read in the guidebook there was like a sort of fun fair nearby, right, with I think the biggest Ferris wheel. Do they still call them Ferris wheels? The biggest Ferris wheel in Japan. I went, right, we'll have some of that. And we got there, and there was a fun fair, but there was nobody there. It was off season, and it was empty, right? But we saw this Ferris wheel, and I went, well, we might as well go on the Ferris wheel, right? We were literally the only people on it. It was flipping terrifying. It was
really
it was massive, right? And it wasn't like the Eye where you're in these pods that are safe. It was swinging back and forth, and it was windy. And I said, because you do get perverts in Japan. You like the fella who buried that woman in the bath with sand, right? I was thinking, we're going to get killed, right? No one's going to know. They're going to find 2 dead English people. The thing's going to fall off. They're going to find 2 dead English people. They'll get rid of the bodies. It didn't happen, but still, I'm suspicious of that country. Anyway, yes.
Okay, the final point is I saw the guy that plays Max Branning from EastEnders on the train today. Now, I don't watch EastEnders.
Oh, yeah.
I just kind of recognised him, but I kind of felt like it was some kind of moment of significance, like I should do something. And I don't know why, maybe it's just me, where you get that feeling where you're like, I recognise them, I should say something, but then you're like, should I though? And I was just wondering if you've ever been in that situation.
Well, where I've seen Max Branning on a train?
I guess anyone you would recognise from TV, and guess more broadly how people sort of handle it, because obviously I tweeted about it, but then I realised, why am I even tweeting about it?
I can tell you what happens, because I am that person.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I am Max Branning. I tell you what happens. People will either... I've got an excellent peripheral vision, right? And so when people are pointing at me, trying to work out... What they do now, because I've not been on TV for a while, is they try and work out where they know me from, right? So quite often they'll nudge their mates, going, who's that? Who's that? I recognise that. And then sometimes they'll come over to me, and sometimes they'll talk to me because they think they know me from school, because they recognise me, and their brain hasn't made the connection because I'm on the telly. They think so. They talk about school. Sometimes they will come over and they will ask for an autograph, but what they want is they want me to write my name down, so then they know who I am. And I go, all right. Sometimes if I'm feeling naughty, I'll say, all right, yeah, sure, I'll sign this if you can tell me one programme I've been in. And they go, oh, you were in that. Oh, I said, you don't know who I am, do you? I'm not going to sign an autograph if you don't know who I am, for crying out loud. That would be worthless. So that's what happens. Or sometimes I had one fella tried to film me on his phone. He was trying to say, he was trying to film me. And I should have said, oi! And I didn't. And I just sat there feeling like a plum. That's what happened.
Yeah, and I was sitting there wondering, this must be really awkward for Max Branning as well, because there were 3 people staring at him as he was getting off the train as well. There's 4 people just gazing at him, and it's just This can't be normal.
You get used. You get used to it. Listen, I'm not in any way putting myself in the same category as an EastEnders star of EastEnders, but I had my brief moment in the pop limelight. You kind of get used to it.
All right, Ian. Thank you very much.
That's that sorted. 0844 499 1000. Yes, line 1. You're on the wireless.
I love my doorbells as much as I love for you.
That's good.
For you make the doorbells always come.
That's nice. I like that. Thank you. Line 2. You're on the wireless.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Ian.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Ian. What do you think was the best song from 1981? Was it the Specials and Ghost Town, or was it Joe Dolce and Shut Up Your Face?
When you say what do I think was the best song from 1981, do you mean specifically out of those two?
Well, I mean, obviously those are the two front runners, but
obviously,
yeah.
I never liked this. I never liked the Specials.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't think they were very good.
If you could choose to be in any band of the 1980s, which would you want to be in? Just for fun, just for sheer
the Human
enjoyment.
League.
Really?
Yeah, I bet. What was the name of the fellow in the Human League? Anyway, I bet him and those two ladies, I bet they had a right old laugh on the tour bus.
Pepsi and Shirley.
That's it. What was his name? Phil.
Was it
His name was
Phil Oakley?
Phil Oakey. Phil Oakey. That's it.
Oakley.
Phil Oakey. And Pepsi and Shirley. I bet they had a right old laugh. So yeah, I'd like to be in the Human League.
They were. I mean, I think probably the best thing that ever came out of Sheffield. What do you reckon?
I would say they were the third best thing to come out of Sheffield.
Do you know what? I've got the Human League greatest hits in front of me on LP right now.
That's great news for you.
What do you can you name me like 5 tracks off there?
No,
what do you reckon?
No, I couldn't.
2?
Is Octopus on there?
It's not on there.
No, I wouldn't be able to.
No. The first one is Mirror Man, which is, you know, that's a good Human League.
I think the 80s were actually pretty poor for music in general.
It's not really your era, is it?
No, I don't think it should be anybody's era. I think it's a pretty poor era. There's a decade. It was too electronic for me.
too synthetic.
No.
Just electronic.
Yep.
Electricity's all right, isn't it?
I wasn't poo-pooing electricity.
Just electronic music.
Yeah.
Do you think? Do you think?
Keep going. Keep trying. Keep trying. Or you can bail out. Okay. You can keep trying, or you can bail out.
I'm gonna keep going.
Keep going. You're gonna keep trying. Okay.
I'm gonna keep going. Do you think music was better before or after electricity?
I don't know what you want me to say, man.
Oh God, I don't know either.
No.
I mean, I didn't really want you. I mean,
Listen, I'm going to give you a 4 out of 10.
4?
You don't need to try so hard next time, okay? Sweet. Don't need to try so hard. Line 1, you're on the wireless.
Hey, Ian Lee. We're on the radio.
Not for much longer, you're not.
Representing Somerset on the radio.
No, you're not. Line 2, you're on the wireless.
Ian, hip, hip, hip.
Hey, it's Rashid, mate. Not heard you for a while, buddy. You all right?
I'm all right, man. It's Ramadan, that's why.
Ramadan ding dong.
It's Ramadan. Can you say it properly? Ramadan.
Ramadan ding dong.
Oh, that'll do.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Yeah, good. Thank you very much. What you got for us, boss?
I was listening to your interview with that. I didn't get his name.
Will Storr.
Well, he was talking about how people, when they're angry emotionally, you can't really. I agree with that.
Like the Hulk, isn't it? The Hulk is the ultimate personification of anger.
It made me think the other day what happened to Joe Cox.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
In peace.
Yes.
The other day I was on Facebook, and everybody comes out with their series and all this and all that.
Yeah.
And there was a friend of mine who started blaming the Zionists, and I was like, "What the heck?"
Isn't it interesting? I have like 5 friends on Facebook. I have a personal account, but the only people I friend are people that I kind of work with this record label. So there's a few Monkey people. I think I've got friends with Kath, but I don't use it, with friends and family and stuff properly.
Yeah.
And I'm a member of various different Monkeys groups because I've got this record label and because I like the Monkeys, right? And it's really interesting to see the number, a lot of them Americans, the number of them that have got what I consider to be the most abhorrent right-wing, offensive, political viewpoints.
Yeah.
People that we chat quite happily about.
It only comes out when something.
But we chat quite happily about the merits of Daydream Believer and who played bass on Going Down, and then they'll post some horrible jingoistic thing about Donald Trump or something. I think, oh God, I'm talking to a twit.
Yeah.
But
I had to have him up about it. I told him, I said, listen, what are you on about Zionists? Don't you think that is too far fetched? And he was like, well, that's my opinion and all that. So,
well, that's not opinion. Here's the thing about the Joe Cox thing. I am deliberately, certainly not saying on the radio what I think happened. I'm not even thinking about what may or may not have happened because I don't want to get caught up in that game. I'm not thinking, was he mentally ill? Was he Britain First? Was he both? I don't know. I'm going to wait until the police have done their investigation. And until we hear, exactly what was going on. But it's interesting how both sides, who are saying they wouldn't use this for their own gain, are very subtly using this for their own gain. And I'm talking about the pro-Brexit and the Remain. I'm talking about the racists and the people that want, refugees. But both sides, it's very subtly.
Just give us a chance to digest what's happened, and let's all take it in and learn some lessons.
Let's wait for some facts. But I do think that
Anyway, Matt, I'm just clocking in, and I thought I'd say all right.
That sounds like someone wants to end a conversation, and that works with me. Line 1, you're on the wireless. Oh, it's Frank Sidebottom, Timperley Sunset. Away you go, fella.
Jersey on canal, always keeps flowing to simply to Manchester. Whenever I travel, I go by train on the train track to get me there. 'Cause I
Was it the anniversary of Chris's death recently? Didn't he die in June? Remember it being summer when he died. Thank you for that. Always nice to hear a little bit of Frank. Wasn't it? What date did Chris CV die? I can't remember. Line 2, you're on the wireless.
How you doing, Ian? You alright?
I'm alright, thanks, yeah.
It's Tyler. Whee. Anyways, what have we been talking about tonight?
Well, liver spots.
I have no idea about those.
You will do. I am an old man, but I'm not as old as my hands would imply, and I'm doing a terrible thing. I'm actually picking at a liver spot, which you should never do. The back of my hands it's partly because I used to like drinking a lot. So I've aged my hands by about 20 years, but they're covered in liver spots, and I've picked one now. It's really sore. I shouldn't have done it.
They're not like on your liver. That's what.
No, they're on my hands. They're the brown marks on your hands. I've got a big one on my arm. And I got them on my hands, and there's nothing you can do about them. Once they're there, they're there.
Oh, jeez.
So it's I shouldn't be picking them. That's what I shouldn't be doing. Hey, I'm going to go to the doctor on Monday and ask if he'll put his finger up my bum.
Oh, really? What, you getting? What, for colonoscopy?
Prostate check. I was thinking I should get a prostate check, but I'm going to surprise him. It's my regular doctor. My regular doctor's left. I don't know where she's gone. I think she had a baby or something. So I'm going to go to a new doctor. First meeting, new doctor. Doctor, could you put your finger up my bum?
Shove it up.
Yeah, could you put your finger up my bum? What did I
Please.
said something to my last doctor? I said something. Oh God, what did I say? I said something that I should only really say to mates, and it was really inappropriate, and I can't think what it was. She asked how something was going, and I said something, and I can't think what it was. Maybe that's why she left anyway. That would explain.
Doctors are the people you're allowed to say those sort of awkward things to, because I bet they get it every day.
Yeah, I bet they get it every day. But yeah, so I wonder, because I'm 43, it's the age I should get my prostate checked, right, in all seriousness.
Yeah.
But I have to...
Any age.
Well, yeah, any age, yeah, but as you get older, you're right, any age. And I've had doctors putting things up my backside before, so I'm not shy about it. I don't mind. I'll drop my trousers anywhere and bend over. But I wonder, do I need to warn? I don't want to tell the receptionist that's what I want. And will they do it there and then, or will he say come back?
Book it in.
Well, do I need to book it in as a specific? I want my prostate checked, or do I go in and he'll just do it?
So wait, have you got like a GP appointment booked in?
Monday.
So, but is it specifically for that, or is it for something else? And you're just going to be like, by the way, can you slip one up?
I need to get a repeat prescription, which there has been some confusion over a repeat prescription. Okay.
Yeah.
So I say there's some confusion over a repeat prescription. Can you give me what I need? He should say yes, and then I'll say, by the way, can you slip one up?
Yeah, it's easy then.
He should be able to do it, isn't he? Here's the thing, right? And this is a genuine question, and boy, oh boy, aren't we, isn't it good that we can laugh about this? Because it's a really important thing, actually, and it saves lives. But what is he feeling for up there?
The prostate is like a small walnut-like thing.
Why am I giggling at that? Is it a small walnut type thing? I bet it's not as tasty as a walnut.
Well, yeah, and then it fills up with
what?
Old stuff.
What? Are you making this up? My prostate...
No, honestly.
How do you know this? You're talking doctor's language. Are you medically trained?
No, well, my mum's a nurse. I think that's as far as my...
Did she talk to you about prostates?
Never really. This is just general knowledge, just from...
Wow, all right, mate, don't rub it in. Literally, don't rub it in.
I won't rub it in, because that can be quite painful. Well, no, that's what you do. You have to, milk the prostate when it's...
Hang on a minute. We've just had the phrase "milk the prostate." By the way, I've got their second album on vinyl. It's worth a fortune.
I heard it was a beautiful song on "Milk the Prostate."
Yes. Okay. Are you sure? Because I know that my cat has to have her anal glands squeezed.
Oh.
Are you sure you're not confusing the two things?
No, I don't think I am.
I had to phone up the vet, right? And the vet said, "What's wrong?" I said, "Can I bring my cat in? What's wrong with her?" And I said, "Oh, I don't really know what to say." She said, "Don't be embarrassed." I said, "All right, her bum really stinks." And she went, "Oh, don't worry. Anal glands, we can fix that."
That sounds pretty accurate.
So the doctor's, I'm going to go and have my walnut milked, am I?
I think that's what you've got to do.
Beautiful. That sounds like a great night out. Line 1, you're on the wireless.
I'll get another 20 minutes. It's about a drink. Beer, Coke, muffin of tea. Just get us a what? Beer, Coke. No, the other thing. Tea. Aye, but would you say a what of tea? A muffin of tea. A muffin of tea? Aye. What's a muffin of tea? A muffin of tea, a cup of tea. What's a muffin? A cup. What's that, tea? A cup?
Thank you for that. That's the sketch, the Limmy sketch that I was talking about the other day. He's coming on soon. I'm a bit nervous. I'm nervous of Limmy. I bet he's absolutely delightful. I bet he's a real charmer. But his humour, if you've not seen the show, it's so dark. It's weird. It's on Netflix, right? Series 1 is on Netflix. And I always thought he was American, and the picture that they've got advertising it makes it look absolutely rubbish. I'm going to tell him he should get that picture changed. He'll have no say over it. It makes it look rubbish, and the little kind of, few sentences they put to describe it, you thought, this sounds rubbish. And I watched it because people kept retweeting stuff that he did that I thought was really funny. And the first sketch in series 1 of Limmy's show is just, it's dark, man. It's really dark. It's just him pointing at himself. I can't explain it. Go and watch it. Line 2, you're on the wireless.
Hi, Ian. I heard you're going to the doctor to have a finger put up your bum.
Yep, that rumour spread fast, didn't it?
Yeah, I went to the doctor to have a finger put up my bum about a year ago, and
you're now married.
At the end, when I no, at the end when I left the surgery and I said thanks very much.
Yes.
He said, "Don't worry, I'm sure we'll get to the bottom of it."
Did he actually say that?
He actually said that, genuinely. Yeah, it was in Muswell Hill in the Duke's.
The posh one or the not so posh one?
The
one opposite the Shell garage, or
yes,
yeah, the posh one, the posh one. I went to my wife got in there, and I went to sign up a week later. Said, "No, we're full." I went, "What? No, we're full." I said, "My wife and kids are registered." "Yeah, we're full." So I had to go to the one down the road, which wasn't. It was like going back to the 1970s. It was in someone's house.
They're a bit weird, those ones that are in a sort of house, aren't they?
Yeah, they are weird.
Have you ever been to a dentist?
Yes, my dentist is in a house.
Why do they do that?
I don't know. And here's the thing, but do you know what? I kind of prefer it. I have to go to the chiropodist, right? They don't call them chiropodists now, podiatrists. Website.
Yes.
Where they're called we say podiatrists now, flipping it. So there are two chiropodists near me, right? And I went to one, and she only does she does 2 evenings a week and every other Saturday. And I was there, and I said, "Oh, can I book an appointment?" I've got an appointment. But it was like in this sort of fitness centre. I don't want to go there.
Hang on. Sorry to interrupt you.
Please.
She does 2 evenings a week and a Saturday.
Every other Saturday, yeah.
That's not a job. That's a hobby, isn't it?
Part-time podiatrist. But I know that the other podiatrist, and she calls herself a chiropodist in the area where I live, she does it in her house. And I want to go there. I want to go to the one in the house. Like, the dentist is in the house. The doctors I used to go to is in a house. You're right. It never really occurred to me before. That's messed up, isn't it? A dentist in a house.
Messed up. Why? I want a specific. I want a centre. I want somewhere that feels like it has a bit of gravitas to it.
Yeah, I know. In fact, I've been to chiropodists a few times, and the best ones I've been to have been in someone's house.
What's up with your feet, Ian?
I think it's verrucas.
Really?
It's generally. Oh, it's funny, is it? It's funny, is it? Verrucas funny, is it?
Oh. Well, I mean, where have you picked them up from? Because that's the thing, isn't it? Verrucas. It makes. Is that it?
Probably. I've had them before, and it's like the verrucas are like a type of herpes, aren't they? Once you've got it, it will always be within your bloodstream, so you're kind of more prone to get them. I got them first when I was at college. Here's my verruca history. I got them first when I was at college, and they went. Then I got them again a few years ago, and I had a wonderful chiropodist called Marcella, who was this very attractive Irish woman who was single, and she continually told me about how she was single, and I was thinking, this is weird. Just scrape my feet and freeze this off. And now I think they're verrucas again, but they're on the kind of the side of the foot, so we're going to go and get them looked at.
Is this something that you have, like, frozen off with dry ice?
Oh, no, they freeze it. I mean, the last time I don't think I had it froze. I can't remember what I did. But the freezing, it's like, nitroglycerin or nitrous oxide, or it's nitrous something. And it's flipping, it hurts, man. It's like burning. It's cold, but it burns. It's so painful. And your foot's up, so it hurts. And then when you stand up to put your foot down, all the blood rushes to the foot. It is agony. I'm having that sorted out.
And you have this done in someone's house?
Yeah, you go to someone's house, so you have it.
It's too much. That's too much.
It is too much. Thank you for that. Isn't it weird? Do you know what we're talking about? Doctors and dentists in people's houses. Very, very odd. Line 1, you're on the wireless.
All right, so I was going to say earlier, before we were talking about your walnuts, I had a music A-level the other day. And
by the way, Monday's show, if I do have my walnuts milked, it's going to be, you're going to hear about it on Monday night.
I cannot wait.
I bet you can't. That'll get the old rage us.
Ian, why don't you Periscope it? Yeah?
If I thought the doctor thought that would be okay, do you know what? Hey, here's something I'm going to Periscope one night.
I watched your Periscope today, actually.
That was terrifying. Would you watch this? Right, would you watch this? I'm seriously considering doing this. Periscoping me going to bed and sleeping.
I I personally wouldn't watch that.
Okay, but
I
some
reckon
people
there's
would, wouldn't they?
People in this world that would.
Set it up at the end of the beds, get in my Jimmy Jams, go to bed, read a little bit, play with the cat, sleep.
Is that what you call it? Playing with the cat?
Steady on. And then in the morning, get up, go,
yeah.
Well, that was me sleeping. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, goodbye.
I reckon there's people who will watch that the whole night through.
Yeah, I bet there will be.
Oh, Iain snored at 3:04.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I've got a digital
Jesus.
spy be wetting its pants.
Oh, they love it. They love it.
Yeah. Anyway, go on. What's the point you're going to make, you pervert?
Well, you you are you like music, don't you?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say like.
You love it. You love it. So on my music A-level exam, I sat down and over the speakers, we have to analyse like music that's played to us. And the first song that comes out is Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh God, the most overrated song of all time.
I knew you were going to say that.
Oh,
I knew you were going to say that.
Rubbish. How does that always top the polls? Britain's favourite song, Bohemian Rhapsody, again
for the fifth time. No, I don't understand it. I don't get it. I think he's a great vocalist, but I don't think it's
It's not even the best song Queen did.
No. What's the best song Queen did? Another One Bites the Dust.
I'm the invisible man. I'm the invisible man.
Invisible man.
I'm the invisible man. They did do a good song once. Seven Seas of Rye and Bicycle Race are good.
Bicycle. No, you've got a good taste in music. Okay, so the second song that comes out, blaring out those speakers, is wait, if I sing it to you, maybe you'll get it.
All right, yeah.
Boom, ding, 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 boom, ding, 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 ding. Yesterday. There you go. I gave it away.
The song is Yesterday, but we'll never have got that from the tune.
Well, there's a guitar solo at the beginning.
Yeah,
it's rubbish. So it wasn't a great exam for us. But,
your exam was just listening to music.
Literally, it's listening and analysing music.
Kids these days, you don't know you're born. I'm going to cut you off again.
Please.
Line 1, you're on the wireless.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, hip, hip.
How are you doing?
I'm really tired. I'm glad it's the last 15 minutes of the week, and I'm hungry.
I'm tired too. It's Kathy, by the way. I've not spoken to you for a couple of weeks.
Hey, Kathy, who's not spoken to me for a couple of weeks. Nice to speak to you again.
And you thought it's nearly 10 to 1. I used to work for you at 10 to 1 on a Friday.
Yes, of course, that was... don't tell me you're going to resign like Alan Caddick did. Alan Caddick resigned from the show today.
You're kidding.
Yeah, he resigned.
It just devastated me.
Because he's not been first call. I mean, it's kind of sour grapes. Because he's not been first call. The thing is, he means it as well. This is not. I'm aware of Caddick. I've been for a long time on various other shows. He probably means it, and he probably won't call in anymore. And I felt like, well, I could have talked him into staying, but I'm not having the callers dictate how the show works. So if he wants to go, that's absolutely, that's his choice.
I think it's really convenient for anyone to play with this Willie, isn't it?
Yeah, no one's phoning, but can you move ever so slightly, Kathy? Because your phone keeps breaking up a little bit, and
Sorry, is that better?
Yeah, that's better. That's better.
Good.
Yeah. No, it's worse. Try again, because it's worse. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. It's busy on the phones tonight. Line 1, you're on the wireless. It's the News 24 kind of hold music. Is there any chance of getting a bit louder? Because it's a bit quiet. It's not really working. It's tricky when you're playing bits of audio, because I know it's late at night, but we kind of need it at a volume that we can hear it. We probably need it a little bit louder than you think. And don't do it on speakerphone. Don't do it on speakerphone, because speakerphone, generally they have this thing where if I speak, it will cut out your microphone on the phone, so it instantly cuts out instead of me. Whereas if it's just on a normal practice, line 1.
Is that better? Can you hear me now?
Now we can hear you. There we go. Beautiful.
Oh, that's a shame, isn't it? Anyway, are you going to have a good weekend?
I don't know. Tomorrow I intend to sleep and watch DVDs. Sunday is Father's Day, which will be filled with laughter and a little bit of tears, because I'll have my boys want to take me out for lunch, and I'll miss my dad.
Oh.
So it's that kind of, it's the yin and the yang. But
You'll have fun with the boys.
Yeah, I'll have fun with the boys, and then Monday I'm getting my walnut milked.
So I hear. Good for you.
It's got to be done. I
did tell you a while ago you've got to get this done.
I think you might have planted the walnut seed.
Check.
Yeah, well,
I could have planted that.
I think you planted the seed. That's why I'm getting it done. So it must be all right somewhere ahead.
I'm always here for your health advice.
Thank you very much indeed. You're not volunteering to actually do the procedure.
No.
The thing is, right, I've got no qualms or embarrassment about a doctor. I've had my bum played with by so many members of the medical profession. I've got no qualms about them sorting that out at all.
Another day at work for them. They've seen hundreds and hundreds.
Yeah, exactly. And I think
smelly ones, nasty ones.
I think mine's actually quite, I'm going to say it, quite beautiful.
Yeah, just make sure you have a little bit of a wash down there first,
steady on.
make it all pretty.
Yes. Thank you very much indeed, yes.
I'm getting my hair cut off tomorrow.
Oh, what, all of it?
Most of it. I'm donating it to charity to Made into Wigs for children with cancer.
Oh, there we go. That's a worthy thing to do. Yeah, that is exciting. Do you have to pay for that haircut, or are you getting it done free?
No, I'm paying for the haircut, but I have got people to sponsor me for Macmillan Cancer, and I've raised 260 quid.
Hey, there you go.
Not bad,
How are they going to... Because when my boys get their haircut, they like to keep bits of it. I don't know why. And they get those little money bags. The barber obviously knows what's going to happen, and he's got these little money bags, and he puts the hair in. What do they put your hair in? Like and this sounds like a flippant question, but actually, I mean it. Is it like a Tesco carrier bag or a Jiffy bag? How do you store it?
No, I'll put it into a ponytail and have rubber bands at the top and the bottom. I'll cut the entire ponytail off, and I'll put it in a Jiffy bag, fill out my form, and send it off to the little
that's clever. I stupidly thought. No, not stupid. I'd never considered it really. They just cut it on the floor and you'd sweep it all up. You send a ponytail. Hey, well, that's brilliant. That's a great thing to do. Well done. Good luck.
Not bad, is it? Have a great weekend.
Yeah. Enjoy having your haircut. Enjoy holding your ponytail. 2 foot away from your head. Line 2, you're on the wireless. We're in. Still sounds a little bit floaty, but it's better than before. Well done. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. Okay, it's not brilliant, but thank you very much indeed. Now, nitrous oxide is what they do. They freeze it off, and everyone's reminding me, for the verrucas, not the walnuts, everyone's reminding me it is agony. It is agony. Yeah. Imagine, hang on a second, line 1's called. Yes, line 1.
Thank you, Iain. A mince pie has had a miraculous escape after falling from the cabin of a Genco crane next to Morrison's in Sheffield. A crane operator had stopped for his lunch early this afternoon, but in a rush he knocked his bait box, which consequently saw the mince pie falling the full 150 feet to the ground. The mince pie was rushed straight to the bakery for repair, and it is said that the pie will make a full recovery unless eaten. The crane operator was not available for comment and is now off work suffering from stress. A farmyard near Wokingham today celebrated its 100-year birthday by dressing 100 cows in women's clothes. The cows were let loose in a field wearing stockings, short shorts and a lacy bra. Benson, who has farmed here for most of his life, said it was the most beautiful thing he has ever seen. And finally, your traffic update. The A1068 between Alnwick and Almouth in Northumberland has just been reopened. It was closed earlier this evening due to a nasty pheasant that wouldn't move from the road. We are told that the council said that the road closure was in the best interests of both motorists and the pheasant. After a 4-hour battle, the pheasant finally moved on and the road reopened. There is now a major £1 million inquiry into why pheasants are so stupid. That was your Talk Radio News. I'm Simon Simon Face.
Thank you very much indeed. That was good. A bit of work went into that, didn't it? A little bit of effort. I do like this hour. It's getting. What's interesting is I'm not seeing the usual numbers flash up on the screen as often. I am seeing the usual numbers, but which is good. It's not criticism, but I'm also seeing numbers I don't recognise flashing up on the screen, which excites me. Excites me no end. And you kind of got the drift of it? No? Good. There is no drift. In this hour, well, in the whole show, really, you can call in about anything you want. I mean, the last hour's a little bit more random, but, let's see what line one's got for us. Yes, line one.
Today's show, it sounds like this.
Are you in Grantham?
Yeah, I live in Grantham.
I know too.
It's going to be an actual, proper radio show this evening.
Gonna get you into my life.
Colour doesn't exist, so you're offering to have sex with anyone that meets you at the car park on Asda. I mean, I met some really stupid people.
I'm as equally as stupid as the rest of the population.
We're on the radio. We're on the radio. It is my dream to be in a petrol station and someone soaking wet, covered in bubbles, walking in going, "Car's got stuck in the car wash. Could someone give us a hand?" It really is turning into an absolute arse of a show.
And they sent him to Israel to find Jesus' foreskin.
Why do we need Caddick?
Caddick is part of the furniture.
I like the Pope. The Pope's fun stove. I love a good car wash. How did you get stuck in it?
Well, I started off, went through, got halfway through, because it pulls you along.
No, I've never been the one that pulls you along. I've been the one where you pull up and it stops, and it says reverse a bit, and then stop, and then you stop.
Hip, hip, hip.
Oh.
I actually think democracy is a very bad idea.
Come on, someone put work. I hope you two are paying attention to that. But whoever that was, he or she's put more work into the show than all three of us combined. Flipping heck! That was brilliant. I enjoyed that. Thank you very much indeed. I'm going to start a song. I'm going to 5, 6, 7. This should work. Oh, hang on, I've got the wrong one. There we go. We'll end on this. There we go.
When the world and I were young, just yesterday, life was such a simple game a child could play. It was easy then to tell right from wrong, easy then to tell weak from strong. When a man should stand and fight, or just go along. But today there is no day or night. Today there is no dark or light. Today there is no black or white. Only shades of grey. I remember when the answers seemed so clear. We had never lived without or tasted fear. It was easy then to tell truth from lies, selling out from compromise, who to love and who to hate, the foolish from the wise. But today there is no day or night. Today
only shades of grey.
Talk Radio. Talk and entertainment across the nation.
Talk Radio.
Give it some lip.